Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, look at Flannel, baby.
Yeah. Let's go. Welcome to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. And everybody, you know what time it is. It's Victory Friday!
Friday! Victory Friday,
Victory
baby.
Friday! I need the juice this morning.
We
I
got
do.
it.
I'm fired up. We already got people going crazy in the chat right now. Sam Flannel has the guns out. It's official. Look at this man. Hopefully your girl's not watching. That's all I'll say about that. Second thing I'll say is, cheers. Cheers. Cheers, Sam.
Buddy.
We're drinking that mother effing blue Kool-Aid today. I can't lie to you. We got the entire crew. Lucas Klotz with us. I don't know if he slept at all going back to last night. Can you confirm?
Me and Spenny, we had a long, long night here. Voice is damn near gone. Headache is there. Hungover as a mug. But you know what, baby? Detroit Lions W.
There you go. Look at that. 8, oh my gosh, 8 a.m. Lucas is fired up. Let's go. And now mine. Bring it. Bring it on. Yo, what was
Long night last night. When I tell you, man, like...
I think all of last night almost just came out right there.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
We'll keep it down, though. We'll keep it down.
All right, let's get fired up. The people that are already chiming in, we got Gabrielle D. Phillips with us. She's probably confused as hell, but it's okay.
I am not confused at all. This is exactly what I expected from you all.
Spenny is still in the building. I don't think he left at all.
He's not here,
He's in
though.
the back.
He is not here.
He has not left. He's been here. JB, we got in the sound booth as always with the Lions gear on. We're fired up. And I'll tell you one thing. And there you go. There's Spenny showing some love. I'll say this.
He hasn't changed since last night.
No, he has not.
He just took like a 3-hour recovery break.
Now, I'll say this for other people, and you got to let Lions fans have this. Like, you have to let them have this moment. Like, this moment, I don't think people... You look at Mahomes and through his... Lions fans. There you go, Sheila. Patrick Mahomes' record in home openers, and I think Stick said this last night in the postgame show, has never lost a home opener. Ever. NFL, college, high school. He wins week 1, game 1. For the Lions to go on the road last night was the toughest game in the NFL. Now, they didn't have Travis Kelce. They didn't have Chris Jones. But what did I say last week? I don't give a damn.
It doesn't matter. This is football.
You know what I care about? You play who's in front of you. And you know what else I like? 1-0.
Oh, yeah.
I don't give a damn how you got it. You're 1-0, closer to winning the NFC North, closer to getting to the playoffs, to potentially, hopefully, win a playoff game. Sam Flannel, how you feeling this morning?
Well, I actions speak louder than words, right? So I'm just gonna
sip on some Kool-Aid. Flannel's indulging. Man, what a night. What a night last night was. Keep it going, Oh, God. He's
getting drunk off the Kool-Aid. All right, I thought he... Okay.
Hey.
Oh, my God. Sam, are you going to choke?
Oh, my God. Wow, I almost died.
Okay. Shoot. Now, and this is big time for you. You had to watch your man, Patrick Mahomes, lose last night. It must have been hard for you, but also you're a Lions fan, so you were also excited.
Yeah, no.
It was a tough one for you last
Obviously, my Lions loyalty usurps my Chiefs loyalty, and the Lions just... And here's the thing. I know that the Chiefs were shorthanded, but when we look back in the annals of history,
I don't give a damn.
You know what it's going to show? It's going to show the Lions went on the road at Arrowhead against the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs and won that game. And in the narrative spectrum, it's going to be the Lions went to Arrowhead and beat Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. And I'll tell you what, as big of a Patrick Mahomes fan as I am, and as much as I think his wide receivers had a lot to do with it, Patrick Mahomes did not play a very good game. He played a very, very good first half, but in that second half, the Lions defense pretty much shut him down.
Yeah, Kadarius Toney wasn't helping him out.
I was going to get there. I think if you're thinking about Mahomes, he was sitting there going, damn, like, I miss Travis Kelce bad. And you knew that last night watching the game. Toney couldn't catch a ball to save his freaking life. Sky Moore.
Goodness.
I was wrong. Sky Moore sucks.
But I don't think we were ever happier that you were wrong.
No, Sky Moore sucks. But regardless,
Who the fuck is that guy?
Who the fuck is that guy? That's fair. But you saw it last night, and what impressed me the most, which we're going to get into it in a little bit here, get into our takeaways at 8:15, and then of course we'll take phone calls. I want to get to the people on this. 8:45. Be prepared to call in. We're taking phone calls. We're going to hear from you guys, react to it. I think this is a good day for all of you. It's Lions fans right now that we need to hear
the
from.
voice of Detroit right now.
Yes, we do.
We need to hear the people. What they have to say.
I want to go to the people. And then 9:15, we'll get to some more takeaways. So again, all Lions today. 8:30. I do want to tell the people why this isn't the same old Lions. It just isn't. It isn't. And you could see it. I know people will say, well, I want them to go do something so I can say it. No, you can recognize this. This is a different organization and how they approach it. Sam Flannel, week 1, you're on the road. It's the season opener. All eyes are on you. It's a game that we all picked the Lions to win, but they actually did it.
They actually
did it, Sam Flannel. This isn't a thing where we pick the Lions, we come in on Monday or come in on a Friday and say, man, this is why, or this is how they could have won. They won.
And you know what? I'm going to preview something that I'm going to get into more in depth on later on. To me, and I know there were some moments, especially at halftime, where I did some analysis where it was looking a little bit rough for the Lions, especially with the Chiefs having the ball first after halftime. But ever since I would say they started their 8-2 run last year, the Lions have been the objectively better team in 10 out of the 11 games that they've played. You never feel like they're completely out of it. You always kind of feel like in almost every game that they've played since then, including last night, in my opinion, that they have it all under control, even when the Chiefs were leading and had the ball. It just always felt like the Lions were going to do something and make plays, and they did. And I have a myriad of examples that I'll get to later on just why... Yep. Even though the Lions objectively didn't play all that well when it comes to certain aspects, they still pulled it out against the Chiefs at Arrowhead on the road, and they pretty much, like I said before, made Patrick Mahomes, for a large portion of the game, look relatively average. There were a lot of circumstances like not having Travis Kelce and Kadarius Toney playing objectively the worst wide receiver game I've ever seen, but still a very, very impressive win.
Now, I'll tell you what. Excuse me. Sean Murphy chiming in. Appreciate you, Sean. He says, Lions looked like a legit threat in all 3 phases. Best 2 games of my lifetime just happened back-to-back. That's fair. That Packers game, too, to end last season.
That's what I was going to say. Last night was very, very similar.
Very reminiscent.
Scoring everything going into the 4th quarter.
Yes.
And to quote The Sopranos, last night at halftime I was feeling some type of way. Right when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in, baby. I was in the depths of hell at halftime. I was like, is this really what we're doing again? But no.
I'll tell you what, if you want more breakdown and analysis later in the nighttime, I'll give you 2 people to go watch. It's Broder and Booner. Weekdays, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. It's the Woodward Night Show. Join them on our YouTube channel. Excuse me. Again, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. It'll be back on tonight, so be sure to check that out. And also, if you think about this for a second, too, Jared Goff's first time in Arrowhead, second time facing Mahomes. And I'm not saying that I don't want to pull the quarterback versus quarterback, but Jared Goff is 2-0 now against Patrick Mahomes. Now, circumstances.
Never lost.
Undefeated, never lost. LeVar Ball. But still, there are, you know, obviously no Kelce, no Joe. I get all of that. But regardless, Sam Flannel, it seems like Jared Goff, at least at this point in his career against Mahomes, a little bit of his kryptonite. I don't know what that. Why some guys have it, right? Tom Brady had Eli Manning. It just there's just a guy sometimes you just can't beat. I don't know why. Jared Goff made plays. Now 2-0 against Mahomes.
Well, it's
under two different head coaches.
No, and that is 100% fair. And it's a good thing that you're not Sam Stick Day, because now Sam Stick Day would probably try to convince every single person that Jared Goff is now an objectively better quarterback than Patrick Mahomes. And that's why I yell at him all the time. That is why we just are like oil and water on air sometimes. And that's why, and for those of you who don't know, who just saw the Instagram clip, it was an argument with Stick that kind of set me off in the first place.
Here, we got it right here, Flannel.
Oh, man.
Or do you want to save it?
No, let it rip. Let's see it.
Oh, here we go.
Detroit Dabber, I never fucking played for the refs for the Michigan loss to DCU.
Oh, yes, you did.
Yes,
you did.
Sixes, and they had 2 empty possessions inside the fucking DCU goal line. Dumbass, listen to what I say.
You blame
God damn it.
You blame about the 4th and 1 call. That the refs didn't call him down in time. You did blame him. Dabber knows what the fuck he's talking about.
Bro,
Those lights.
Guys, that's true. Hey, and all it took was a viewing party with stick. Fuck, I've been trying to make that for a year. 360.
I feel so bad.
Ryan Slants, I think Flannel needs to get laid. I have a life! I get laid all the goddamn time! Let's go! You get laid, Ryan!
I get laid all the time.
Yeah, that.
No, and for the record, Greg Wilson, he says, let me pull it up. Let me pull it up.
What did he say?
No, it wasn't bad. He said, sorry to tell you, Sam, but last night Jared Goff was better than Mahomes. The stats and the win don't lie. Goff didn't have a pick, let alone a pick six. Well, first of all, the pick six wasn't Patrick Mahomes' fault. But anywho, you're right. Jared Goff in both of the matchups versus Patrick Mahomes has been better. Because even if you look back at the 54-51 game on Monday Night Football when Jared Goff was with the Lions, Patrick Mahomes did throw 3 picks that game.
Yep.
But like my thing is, yeah, in these couple of matchups, Jared Goff has been better. But I just don't like. It's a good thing football isn't a head-to-head game because Jared Goff is still not in the same planet as Patrick Mahomes. But he's better last night. That's all that matters.
And in my opinion, the offense wasn't the storyline. It was the defense.
No.
It was the defense, the new-look defense. And we talked about it. Aaron Glenn under a lot of pressure this season. Got a lot of flack last year, the first half of the season. They showed out, I think. There was some miscommunication to end the first half, which, again, for a new secondary, this is a secondary that's only played together in joint practices and training camp and just in general. They haven't played in a live NFL, especially away in Arrowhead, one of the loudest places to play in the NFL. There was some breakdowns, but guess what? They responded. I mean, C.J. Gardner-Johnson almost had a pick at the end, too.
He almost had 2 of them. He could have had 1 in the first half and then 1 to ice the game, but who cares? Lions got that W, baby. He was still making plays regardless.
And also, and I don't want to tease too much, but we got to talk about Aiden Hutchinson, man. Like, that dude was in the backfield every play. Every single play. Juwan Taylor.
He had Juwan Taylor. I'm not even just saying this. I genuinely think he was doing that false start thing to make sure that he wasn't getting burnt every time by Aiden Hutchinson off the line of scrimmage. Like, I doubt Juwan Taylor's going to be doing that every week. He just Hutch is so dominant. He knew it.
And this guy was not stop coming, Jeff. Okay, all right. Really, JV. That's where we're going with this.
That's the only one that would work.
It was okay. Fair.
Fair enough.
It lines
I'm
up.
Sorry.
Peter says Juwan Taylor is a cheater. Taylor was cheating all game. I'm salty. Says I love this comment too because Funky was chiming in too earlier, and he actually said it was about Anzalone. He said, Jeff, I wonder if Lions fans are going to give Anzalone the credit he deserves for last night. Because, again, there's a lot of players we're going to get to on this defense. A lot of guys showed out, man, especially the rookies. Jack Campbell played. Brian Branch played. Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs. We'll get to all those and more. But before we do that, I got to hear about our friends over at Lady Jane's.
Oh, of course, where I get this objectively great haircut because someone said they don't like when I say objectively, so haha. Come to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience. Register to win a trip of your dreams and all-expense-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tourney. That's right, no expense spared for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Are you a diehard college football fan? Well, it's your lucky day. Join special WSN guests like Spencer Raxter, Flannel Sam, and more every Saturday. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Saturdays and tune in live from 8:30 to 10 a.m.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Come hang with the Woodward Sports Crew all throughout football season on Saturdays and Sundays to join our college football and Detroit Lions live watch parties.
Inside the 5, caught, end zone, touchdown Detroit Lions!
With money on the line, featuring different special guests and surprises. Start times will vary depending on the game. Only on our Woodward Sports YouTube channel.
Downtown's newest sports bar, that's 5 Iron Golf, has 13 TrackMan simulators, certified instructors, and most importantly, a full bar and restaurant. 5 Iron Leagues are back, debuting on September 11th. So get signed up. Use code Woodward10 for 30% off the league. That is 5irongolf.com to sign up. Victory! Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show here on a Victory Friday. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? The Lions just beat the Kansas City Chiefs on the road. On the road. This isn't at home. Oh, they came to Ford Field and you beat the Chiefs. No, you traveled to Arrowhead and put a foot in their ass. Are you kidding me?
They fought adversity too. All the stuff that the same old Lions would have done down in the third quarter. Penalties, not getting back to running the ball. They didn't do any of that.
No.
Put this narrative to rest, baby. Same old Lions, no more, no more.
Now, this is, and I want to say this about the win itself, because I kind of talked about it yesterday and the day prior. Go win a game you're not supposed to win, or people don't think you can win. And that also entails of, situations in the game, for example, when it's not going your way or offensively, you're not playing your best football. That's called complementary football. Complement each other, offensively, defensively, special teams. You got frickin' Germ.
Special teams, fake
carrying
punt.
the ball.
A 4th and 2 fake punt.
Are you kidding?
On your own 25 in the first quarter against Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. Jalen Reeves-Maybin.
Are you kidding me? They complemented each other well. The offense, there's a lot of things to clean up. I think on both sides, but mainly the offense. I mean, without Brian Branch's pick 6, they only scored 14 points. But regardless, Sam Flannel, that defense, when it counted, they showed up. Even after the breakdown, even after Mahomes, right before halftime, looking great. And that was a moment I had in time, which I'll get to in 10 minutes because I want to talk about the SOL stuff. But there was just a couple times in that game, and I'll point them out in the next segment, where I sat there and I was like, oh no, like this could be another, this is another chance for people to use the SOL narrative, right? To come out and be like, man, you're up 14 to 7 here, or you're down 14 to 7. Chiefs get the ball out of halftime. What's going to happen? Line stuck in there, Sam, but they complement each other very well. That's what winning teams do right there.
Absolutely.
Not offensively all year, and then the defense never shows up, but go on.
No, absolutely. You talk about the defense, and that was one of my takeaways. One of my first takeaways is that Aiden Hutchinson might just have an all-pro season this year. I know he didn't get a sack, but he did have 3 quarterback hits and a whopping 8 quarterback pressures. He was one of the best players on the entire field last night, maybe the best player on the field, if you ask me. He was dominant. He just didn't get a whole lot of help when it came to everybody else rushing the passer, but he definitely bothered Patrick Mahomes, forced some early throws, forced him to move the pocket. And when it comes to the defense, here are a couple of big plays that I wouldn't say get overlooked, but I think were very, very important, or a couple aspects. It was very, very important after the Chiefs took a 14-7 lead going into halftime for them not to score a touchdown in their first possession back. And the Lions held. They held them to 5 and out. The Lions got the ball back and they went 3 and out. But then, speaking to the defense, they took advantage of Kadarius Toney dropping a ball right in his hands, and it pops right into the hands of Brian Branch, who returns it for a touchdown to tie the game at 14. Also, and need you guys not forget, the Kansas City Chiefs had a couple of long scoring drives in the second half, but what did both of them end in? Field goals, not touchdowns.
Bend but don't break.
Absolutely, and that allowed for the Lions to go down and score and take the lead in a rushing touchdown by David Montgomery, which we all predicted would happen, and it finally did. The room absolutely erupted. And also, here's what was just insane. This is something that this is to me one of the proofs that SOL is dead. I know we'll get to it later, but this particular sequence. The Lions had a 21-20 lead. They go for it on 4th and 2 from the Kansas City 45. They don't get it.
Which I love that play call, by the way. I'm sure some people were freaking out over that. That play call just bought me in even more. I didn't care that they didn't get it. But Dan Campbell is showing, like, we're here to win this bitch.
But, Lucas, can you agree that if the Chiefs would have taken all the time off the clock and scored and won the game, that he would have been questioned about it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
But those were the same play calls that put the Lions in the game previously. You know what I mean?
But what did the Lions do? The defense held. The defense actually forced off the back of a holding penalty, most of all, the Chiefs into a 4th and 25, which the Chiefs obviously didn't get because nobody gets a 4th and 25, and then the Lions never give the ball back. That turned out to be the Chiefs' last possession of the game. So we're talking about the defense. The defense stepped up huge when they needed to, and that's the thing. The Lions team, what they have showed over the last 11 games that they've played in, the last 10 of last year and the first one of this year, is that the Lions, they overcome mistakes, they're opportunistic, and they take advantage of breaks.
Yep.
Consistently, almost every game, they do all of those things.
And speaking of the defense, for me, and I'll go right to it, it's the secondary. I mean, the new look secondary we've been waiting to see. And you know who's a big part of that?
Who is it, Jeff?
The rookie, Brian freaking
Yes.
Branch. And I'll tell you what, Brian Branch, this is a man who all training camp, joint practices, he's been the talk of town, a second-round pick who Brad Holmes had graded as a first-round pick. This man, week 1, Mahomes never thrown an interception. He doesn't even know what that is, week 1. He's like, huh? Throwing interceptions. I don't know what you're talking
throwing
about.
138 passer rating, QBR.
138
Damn near
passer rating
perfect.
on week 1. Brian Branch said, yeah, I'll give you your first pick. And you know what else? I'll take you to the house and score.
House call, baby.
So not only did he throw his first pick, he threw his first pick 6 on week 1. You got the video, you guys reacted
I'm getting
to
it right now.
By the way, this is this essentially won the game because you won by 1 point.
They don't win this game without it.
That was it, and again, it wasn't directly to Brian, but he made a one-handed grab, snag, and he took off. Now, when he went down, I was worried. I was a little worried.
The cramps?
Yeah, I didn't think it was cramps, so it was
Yeah.
much worse. But regardless, Brian Branch, there's a reason why they had to make sure this dude was on the field. C.J. Gardner-Johnson was supposed to be your slot corner. Brian Branch arrived. They said, you know what? You can go to the back end, C.J., because we need this kid on the field. Play the clip. The juice was brought in the broadcast.
Yeah, you could see me at the end of it kind of sit. The amount of weight that was lifted off a Detroit Lions fan's shoulders last night by Brian Branch. Green Bay Packers, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And thank you, Brad Holmes, for being the GM wizard that you are and fleecing through this NFC North, because we would not have won that game last night without Brad Holmes and Brian Branch. And most importantly, those Green Bay Packers.
No doubt about it. Brian Branch was a big part of that. Another group I'll bring up, and you've already mentioned it, but I have to give credit to this defensive line as a whole. Pascal was making plays.
Yeah.
Hey, I was excited to see that.
Huge play.
Huge play. That was a, what, 4th down?
When they were doing, they had, I believe it was
down.
either Blake Bell or Noah Gray under center.
Yeah.
And they motioned him across. The interior pressure, they got outside of him, but Josh Pascal right before they broke contain. Your boy, Jeff, the man that you said needed to be playing inside, and they didn't play Isaiah Buggs. And this is exactly why. Josh Pascal was making plays last night, baby.
And the other part of it, too, at least for the defensive line, you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, what would have made them even harder to stop, Sam? Running the football. Having a run game going. Now you get Mahomes to be able to set up play action, and now the offense becomes more unpredictable. Mahomes is their leading rusher last night. 6 rushes for 45 yards, average of 7.5 yards per carry. Now, if you take out Mahomes, the Chiefs were 15 carries for 49 yards. That was very reminiscent of the defense we saw the second half of last season, shutting down the run, right until Carolina. But this is something this needs to be the Lions' bread and butter right here, stopping the frickin' run. And they did it against the Chiefs, and you know what helps when you can stop the run? When you got a pretty good secondary. Yes. Because when you know what they're going to do, when they become more predictable, as in the Chiefs in this instance, you know they're going to pass the ball. You got guys that can make plays. This defense, they're going to be special this year. I believe that.
Well, yes, and the other thing that I noticed, and I actually made a Twitter post about it, is that the Kansas City Chiefs, and this goes back to last year, they don't like to run quarterback sneaks. Sometimes they get away from smash mouth football on 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1, and they try to get a little bit too cute, like handing the ball off to Noah Gray, or that end around to Kadarius Toney on 2nd and 1 that lost a yard. And that's the sign of a good defense. They're disciplined. They pursue to the football. I'm talking about the Lions defense, and they don't let the Chiefs get away with just being too cute because when those plays work, you're going to call Andy Reid a genius. But when they don't, which the Lions made sure that they didn't, you're going to be called like, what are you doing? And like I said, that is something that the Lions defense, I'm really, really happy that they were able to take advantage of that because you just got to run the ball straight up the gut. But the Chiefs didn't do that, and because the Lions wouldn't, and the Lions made them pay.
And I got to say, too, man, like that offensive line, it started with them. And it ended with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Those boys closed the game. Like,
Yep.
David Demont deserves a lot of love, too, because we were excited about that signing, and Demont showed last night, like, he runs tough. That guy runs hard. But the other part of it, that offensive line, they closed it. They needed a first down. Get out the way. Get out of the frickin' way. Here comes Demont for a first down. The offensive line, a big part of it, we kind of talked about it, and Nick Bolton was trying to wreck that game pretty much on his own.
Nick Bolton was showing out last night.
Yeah, he was. That guy's a beast. I like Nick Bolton a lot.
When he put Demont on his ass.
But yeah, I know. I was like, Demont, get up there.
He bounced back, though.
He did.
Bounced back.
So the offensive line, the defensive line, I think the Lions look great in the trenches. But what about you, Lucas? What are some of your takeaways?
Listen, Dan Campbell did not get coached by Andy Reid. Number one. We had 4 Detroit Lions rookies make crucial impact timely plays. Jahmyr Gibbs, timely runs. Sam Laporta, that 2nd and 14 slant in the first half was huge to keep the Lions in momentum, to keep them inside that game. Brian Branch, obviously know about him. And Jack Campbell could not have been on the field more. I do not want to say, it was making me nervous, the amount that Jack Campbell was getting taken off the field, because every time he was on the field, he was making an impact. He was always around the ball. Now, Alex Anzalone, solid game. He was always around the ball, couldn't complete a couple tackles. But for the most part, he was there. Derek Barnes, for the most part, was there. But I want to see more Jack Campbell. But these rookies, man, they all look the part.
Did you see that Jack Campbell pass deflection?
That was huge.
Yes.
That man like torqued his body backwards.
That's why I was like, don't take this man out. They are going to be throwing every play from here on out.
And I don't know, man, that says a lot. Like the fact that, again, Brian, Jahmyr, which we'll get to in a second here, because Jahmyr deserves a lot of love. I'll get to him next segment. But also Jack Campbell, like you said, the rookies, they went out, they didn't look phased. Didn't really look much phased. I think that was impressive.
This game would have had a very different trajectory without all of the rookies that we have gained this year.
It's crazy to think about it, but that's true. Brian Branch.
Wild. All of those big moments were coming, a lot of those big moments, those explosive moments that we've been looking for, all came from rookies. And I think the other main reason is this improved secondary. Without that, this game would have gone very different.
Like, think about where Lions fans and this Lions team was a year ago, what this secondary looked like on paper. I mean, you had Okudah, Jerry Jacobs, who actually played.
Jerry Jacobs was so solid
I was
last
going to say,
night.
he played pretty well last night, but still, Tracy Walker was obviously hurt, but you had out Juju Hughes filling in for him. I mean, the Deshaun Elliott, who's now with Miami, but it was the secondary, and they're last in the NFL. They're one of the worst. Now this year, you got legit dudes in there. Like Cam Sutton, he was quiet, but that was good.
Yeah, you want your to be quiet.
Number one corner to be quiet. You didn't hear him giving up no big plays.
The only time you heard Cam Sutton was on that iffy PI call, and I could understand why they gave it to him. I wasn't freaking out, but after that, man, that's why you draft a guy. They didn't have one receiver start getting cooking. Rasheed Rice there in a little bit, but every time, the other thing I noticed, all these big plays, and this makes me confident, that the Lions gave up, most of them were in zone coverage. So when they were in man coverage, they were sticking with their guys. They were applying pressure with Aiden Hutchinson all night. So the fact that they look better in man coverage than zone coverage, especially with this Aaron Glenn scheme, makes you pretty confident.
Now, let me tell you real quick, because for all the people that, if you don't know already, Lions Insider Show coming to Woodward Sports, and you can get all the updates on injuries, news, and rumors, and all of that stuff with 3 people right there. Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and, of course, Detroit sports legend, Terry Foster. Twice a week, Sundays, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., and Tuesdays, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Tune in. The most in-depth reporting and breakdown of the game on our YouTube channel exclusively. And I want to talk about Jahmyr Gibbs, because Jahmyr Gibbs last night, and I know it wasn't the sample size or at least the workload we wanted. This is a guy who I think should get more touches. I mean, you see it. When the ball's in his hands, Sam Flannel, he's electric. Last night, 7 carries for 42 yards. Went helmet to helmet with whoever that was on the Chiefs.
You talk about the late run?
Yeah. And that he's a much more physical runner than I thought. Like, I'm thinking, okay, he's going to make guys miss. No, he went one-on-one and said, get out of my way. I'm plowing you over. Now, the other part of it is what he did in the passing game. Again, 2 balls for 18 yards. I think he's got to get more. He's got to get more touches. But again, it helps when you have a guy like Josh Reynolds who shows up. Matt Broder pointed that out to us yesterday. That was his pick to make some noise yesterday. And Josh Reynolds, a guy who played well last time Jared played Mahomes, he shows up again. But what do you think about Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Flannel?
I was impressed. I mean, he averaged 6 yards a carry. He had that huge run at the end of the game in which he was shifty. He showed his shiftiness. He showed his power. He only had 2 catches, but one of them was for a first down. And I thought overall Jahmyr Gibbs played very, very well. I think last night was the game to maybe just ground and pound with David Montgomery for the most part, and they did. But I will tell you what, I think Jahmyr Gibbs can maybe ground and pound a little bit more than people are giving him credit for. And I was one of those people who was a little bit skeptical. But last night, I didn't see a whole lot of difference between the power and the running between the tackles between David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. When you give Jahmyr Gibbs the chance, it looks like he can do it. The key is just not burning him out and getting him hurt. But I was very, very impressed with Jahmyr Gibbs, albeit in a smallish sample size, but he made plays, as did all the rookies.
Yep. Do you think his performance last night was enough to shut up the crowd that's saying you shouldn't have taken a running back at 12?
Not yet.
No, yeah, I think I need
What more do you need?
I just need a bigger sample size. Like for me, Jahmyr could get, and I don't want to put this juju in the air, but you never know. Injuries, like if he gets injured and the rest of the season's over, of course we're all going to be upset. But right now, at least if we're talking in a 1-game sample size, I'm happy. I mean, are you?
I think Lions
I'm
fans
happy
are all
with what
happy,
I saw out of him.
but
Now, you want him to get the ball more. I agree with
Lions
that. But in a small, the guy averaged 6 yards per carry. Like, I'm happy with what I saw.
Well, here's the problem, because Jahmyr Gibbs, we all walk away impressed, but here's the bottom line, and I'm not trying to rain on the parade. Jahmyr Gibbs had 60 all-purpose yards. He's going to have to pump that up for Lions fans to completely forget that we drafted a running back at number 12 overall.
And that's up to the coach. You got to get him the football.
Because every time he touched the ball, he averaged 6 yards per carry and 9 yards per catch. That's amazing.
I knew you were going to love that,
Yes.
Flannel. I saw that stat yesterday.
6 yards. Hey, speaking of yards per carry, David Montgomery. But, you know, we'll get into that later. We'll get into that later.
You dare not legend kill David, because that man, he was running hard. I know the beginning of the game, if you watch the game, at the end,
I was here.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm talking to everybody, not just you. But if you watch the game, you know David Montgomery, man, he was getting like 6 yards at the end. Like they needed 5 yards.
They don't win that game without.
No,
They
don't.
needed him to run down the clock, and that's exactly what he
Yeah,
did.
that dude's a tough runner, man. And I know why now. You check all the David Montgomery stats. It's like, yeah, he's up there and missed tackles every year. It's hard to bring him down. It really is. Backfield, it's going to be nice this year. We'll go to break. We get back. I want to give the people my little monologue on why I believe SOL is done, or slowly fading away. I think there has to be results to get rid of completely that SOL narrative. But with my eyeballs, and maybe you guys agree or disagree with me, you can share your opinion on that. I think it's different. I think this is different, what we're seeing here. It started last night, and I think it'll continue 10 days from now, facing Seattle. But before we go to break, Sam Flannel, could you tell the people about our friends over at Dispo?
Get your Victory Friday pack.
Oh, 100%. And you can experience the true meaning of exceptional cannabis products with Dispo Dispensary. With over 12 locations, including their new location that is now open in Whitmore Lake, Dispo is never far away. Join Ermanni and Edwards with Maz and the Woodward Heavyweights broadcasting live at the Whitmore Lake location on Friday, September 15th. Located at 50 North Territorial Road in Whitmore Lake, Michigan. Dispo Dispensary, disposhops.com, your local cannabis
Smoking
plug.
that Chiefs pack!
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th.
Join now at any Metro Detroit location. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, 2 of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder.
It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour.
You're a good coach, Tim. Oh, great shot.
Some of the biggest names in Michigan sports, and some, well, not so much.
Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah, baby.
Watch episodes at woodwardsports.com.
When buying or selling real estate, flexibility and control over the sales process is key. Sellers, how would you like the freedom of canceling your listing agreement at any time for any reason with no penalty? That is exactly what Mark White and Associates offers. It's called the Minute-by-Minute Listing Agreement. Try Mark White's Minute-by-Minute Listing Agreement today. Looking to buy or sell real estate? Visit markwhitesells.com or call 248-290-8242. markwhitesells.com, where flexibility meets success.
Man,
we
welcome.
gotta make an announcement real quick.
I get to it. Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show, everybody. Seriously, appreciate you guys for choosing us this morning on Victory Friday. Don't forget, hit the like button. We got a lot of people tuning in. It supports the network, supports the algorithm, supports the show. But quick update to Lucas's point. Kathy just walked in here and gave us a little special gift from a very, very special person now in the chat. And you know who you are, Coach Walk 37.
The GOAT!
The GOAT, man. He sent us a letter here. I'll read the letter. He got us a tray. You're not going to be able to see it, but we'll show you in a little bit.
Cheers.
Gave us some
Coach
shots
Walk.
here on a platter. Shots. Tequila, I believe it is. But let's read the note he lit. He wrote us a little note here, okay? He says, Morning Woodward Show. I love the show and the personalities. You get me through my morning workouts, even when I don't always feel motivated. Your interaction with the chat is second to none. I'm glad I found the show, and I've been a loyal listener for you for about a year and some change. So the reason for this is, a while back you said you do a shot of tequila for a Lions victory. Also, I sent something in the chat saying I would supply the tequila. So I'm sending you this bottle and these things to make a Shirley Temple for flannel. You get the Shirley Temple. I hope you guys enjoy. I hope nothing breaks. I even packed a Red Chief sippy cup for flannel to enjoy.
Hold the cup up.
You got it. No, you can grab it. Yeah. Coach Walk, you got. Man, we appreciate you big time.
Serving them up.
So, this is one shot.
We gotta get it in the shot here.
Yeah.
Look at this thing.
Here it is.
Look at this thing.
Here it is, and here's
There's
sippy cup.
flannel. You can get flannel a sippy cup. Flannel. There you go. You can have your sippy cup.
And tequila, and
Oh, I
you
do?
have to mix them in the sippy cup.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Wow. That.
Oh, I didn't get the sippy cup.
Wow, boys. Okay, I guess we're actually doing this.
Yep.
We're doing a shot of tequila.
To a cheers.
Hold on.
All right, I guess I'm.
All right, boys.
Guess I'm drinking tequila.
You are drinking tequila.
We got
All right.
JB.
Here
got
we
yours
are.
up.
I just want to say JB's got his. He's locked and loaded. Really quickly. There you go, Sam. You got to get your sippy cup.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Coach Walk.
Just really quickly, to the end of SOL, man. To a
The end
brand
of
new
SOL.
Lions era. Cheers.
Cheers, baby.
Oh my God.
I'm a machine. That's what I needed right now, baby.
That'll put some hair
Got
in
the
the chest.
Kool-Aid flowing. Now we got the tequila.
Wow.
Ay, ay, ay.
Tequila from Coach Walk 37. We appreciate you, Coach Walk.
Shout out Coach Walk.
super.
Sam's got one more. He
Now
has
I
a
can
Shirley
chase that with
Temple.
my. I like Shirley Temples, by the way. Grenadine is what.
Here we go.
Shout out Coach Walk for that, man.
Yeah, that was big time, man. Tequila on a Victory Friday.
Wow, that's a damn good Shirley Temple.
Oh my gosh.
You got to drink the blue Kool-Aid out of the sippy cup for the rest of the show, Flannel.
That's fair.
Wow, that was awesome, man. Seriously. And we have the best, I always say, we have the best listeners on the entire network. Everybody in our chat, man, they're real ones. Let's get into SOL, the SOL narrative, and why I believe all that ish is now quieting down slowly. One win doesn't take it away, but it's the start that I think will. And I'll tell you what, when I was watching the game, and I know many people could relate to me on this, especially when it became halftime and the Lions were down 7, it was 14-7 at halftime. The Chiefs get the ball coming out of half. I'm sitting there, Maz is with me, Ryan from the back is with me, and we're just talking. I'm like, man, what if the Chiefs get the ball here? They're going to, and they go down and score. Now you're down 21-7. Things are looking scary. You're on the road. You got to play from behind, right? A lot of concern there. You know what they do? You know what the Lions do after giving up a touchdown right before half, after half? They come out of halftime, and they get a stop.
Speak it.
They get a stop. They needed to get a stop. They got it. Now, the offense comes out. They punt. So now you're thinking, okay, here we go. It's one of those games. It's back and forth. Now it's 7-14 still. You're down one score. What happens? Brian Branch. Answers the phone.
Bad man. That's a bad man, Brian Branch.
He answered the phone call and said, "What it do? I'm here. I'm taking this thing to the crib. Score 7." That's when I knew. I said, "Okay, here we go." Now the momentum shift in that ball game. Now it could have been 21-7. The Lions defense gets a stop. Brian Branch pick 6, ties the game up. The entire game now is different. Now it's a tied game. Now you could still run the football. You don't have to play from behind. You don't have to rush anything. And they were getting away from the run, which was pissing Lucas off. Was pissing me off too. They got back to the run. Now, what changes that is after the pick 6, the Chiefs get back on the field. What happens? They punt again.
Yes,
the
sir.
defense answered the phone. They didn't give up a touchdown in the second half.
Nope.
Not a touchdown. 2 field goals. You ended up winning by 1 point. That was the difference. And then you take it down to the last drive for the Kansas City Chiefs late in the game. Now, I'll say this. When Mahomes had the ball, I was scared. Everybody should be scared. You know this man can go down the field and get a field goal like that or score, even do that. But regardless, I'm watching the game, and I'm thinking to myself, the Lions, they got to get a stop here. Again, you need a stop. What happens? They get a stop. Like that. This is why to me it's different. Is this team when they needed something, when they needed the defense to show up, when they needed the offense to show up, they did it. They did just enough to win. And the most impressive thing in the NFL is winning. It's hard enough to win in the NFL.
Yep.
Winning when you're not playing your best. That right there. In Arrowhead.
Against Andy Reid.
Against Andy Reid.
The Super Bowl champs.
The Super Bowl champs.
They get in the ring ceremony.
Yep.
Everything was against the Lions there.
Now,
they shook that SOL narrative in so many ways last night.
Yeah, they did. And I'm not saying to everybody SOL is completely over, they're winning the Super Bowl. But that's different. I'm just pointing things out to me that were different. The Lions get the stop they needed. The defense responds. Like, everything was just happening differently. It's something we saw in flashes last year. But this team, if they're able to put it together, they played in Arrowhead and beat Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. I don't give a damn who wasn't playing. That's one of the toughest, if not the toughest win in the NFL.
Oh, it is the toughest win in the NFL right now, and it speaks to how opportunistic and how situationally well the Lions have played when they make the big plays when it matters. Even if they give up a few, they don't let it compound. I look at the 2 field goals that the Chiefs got instead of touchdowns. There were some moments, especially that pass interference call, that could have been backbreaking, but the Lions held firm. They bended but didn't break. And speaking of the game last night, where did Brian Branch and Jahmyr Gibbs go to college?
Bama, baby.
Alabama. And do you love college football? It's the Woodward Sports for the Love of College Football pregame show. Spencer Raxter, Flannel Sam, Easy, and many more will get you pumped up. Every Saturday morning from 8:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. on the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Whether you're a Sparty, Wolverine, or a fan of that other team in Ohio, we welcome you to love your Saturday with Woodward Sports. And one thing that I want to touch on, too, is when things didn't go the Lions' way, they overcame and they found a way. Think about this. I got a few scenarios I want to run by you guys. What if you were told before the game that the Lions would only score 7 first-half points? Would you have thought they would have won?
I would have been concerned.
We would have all been concerned, but that is what happened, and they found a way. They overcame. What about Marvin Jones fumbling that ball inside the Kansas City red zone with a chance to take a lead, either 10-7 or 14-7? Like, Marvin Jones lost that fumble, a red zone fumble, which you typically can't do against a good team. If you thought that Marvin Jones would have done that, that basically would have maybe swung the game, would you have thought the Lions would have won?
No.
You have to take advantage of all of your red zone opportunities, or so we think, but the Lions overcame. How about the Lions only scored 14 offensive points last night against a defensive line that we all thought that the Lions could just abuse? Would you thought they would have won if the Lions only scored 14 offensive points?
All right, thanks, man.
No.
I don't think so, but they overcame and they found a way. How about this? I know Aiden Hutchinson got consistent pressure on Patrick Mahomes, but the Detroit Lions did not sack Patrick Mahomes one time.
That's what, if you would have told me that, I'd be like, no, they lost the game.
But they didn't lose. They overcame and they found a way. How about this? And this is something where I want to speak to David Montgomery a little bit. And this isn't denigrating him because it's not just him. The Lions as a team averaged 3.5 yards per carry. I think we all thought it would be at least 4. If you were told that the Lions would average 3.5 yards per carry, would you thought they would have won that game?
Not a chance. That's the key to stopping Mahomes. You keep him off the field, and if you can't run the ball, you can't keep him off the field.
Right. Absolutely. But they overcame and they found a way. How about this? And I kind of alluded to it earlier. On 4th and 2 from the Chiefs' 45 with 2:33 left, the Lions went for it on 4th down and missed. And you give Patrick Mahomes a short field with 2:33 left, all timeouts, with a chance to go down and win the game. If you were told that the Lions did that, would you think they would have won?
Nope.
You would have thought Patrick Mahomes would go down, run all the clock out.
Man.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
There's so many things that just changed. So many. Like the fact that the Chiefs, at the end of the game, on 4th and 20, they got a flag, they got a false start to move it back.
You're like, what?
Not the Lions. After Jawan Taylor was moving the whole damn game.
He was
and they just
cheating out
weren't
there.
calling it. They weren't calling it. The Chiefs had one penalty going into their final drive, and you're like, all right, here it comes. But no, they go from 4th and 10 to 1st and 10 to 4th and 20, then to 4th and 25. And what do the Lions always somehow figure out a way? On those 4th and longs, remember Lamar Jackson?
Yeah.
Remember Zach Wilson? They always find a way to keep the team in the game. Not today, baby. Those safeties, Patrick aired it out. Who'd you see there? C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
And it helps. You only need to rush like 4 dudes, and you're getting pressure. Like everybody's back there just chilling.
Did you guys
They're
see,
getting pressure.
Did you guys see when Aaron Glenn had Aiden Hutchinson on the inside and James Houston on the outside?
Yeah.
That's going to be a problem. He's going to
nasty.
That's going to be such a nasty stunt.
Beautiful. You know what else is beautiful? Those burgers and chicken sandwiches over at Big Boy. Because let me tell you about them. Listen, it's burger time. Try the best cheeseburger or try their new pretzel cheeseburger. Because again, guys, upgrade your regular fries with their chili cheese and loaded baked potato fries. Stick around because when we come back, we're taking phone calls. I'm going to put the number in the chat. We want to hear from the people. We'll see you guys right after the break.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zaniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
Have you ever argued with your little brother? How about some random guy you're stuck in a room with for an hour? Flannel Sam and Spencer Raxter are at each other's throats. One Spartan alumni and one Walmart Wolverine are locked in a room with nowhere to hide. You're welcome. Whether it's go blue or go green, you can go to woodwardsports.com for all the action. Coming soon to a device near you.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
For over 60 years, Fairway Packing Company has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry-aged beef. Experience a Fairway difference for yourself today, the best way to celebrate a Victory Friday. Visit their steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods for grab-and-go steaks or order today at fairwaypacking.com.
Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. It's official. It's 8:45. You know what time it is.
Call in, baby.
Taking phone calls. Call the show. We want to hear from the people. We want to hear your thoughts on the game. Maybe some things you weren't pleased with, some things you were pleased with. We'll go to the people. Did anybody call? I heard you talking to somebody, JB. Did someone call in?
Oh, yeah. We are stacked full of callers right now.
They're coming through unbelievably fast. Okay, send the first one through.
All right, I will send you guys Ryan because he's been on hold for a minute. So
Ryan, welcome to the show, brother. What do you want to discuss?
Finally, football has made it to Detroit.
Yes, sir!
Finally, football has made it to Detroit. I just got a couple points. Hey, my 2-year anniversary watching the show was last week, so I want to give a shout-out to the best sports show. All right. I believe, hey, play of the game, I believe, was at 4th and 2. In the first quarter, I wasn't too sure about what was going on, but hey, same old Lions would have folded. I've been a fan for 44 years, and it's been rough. And I'm not gonna lie, I was like Lucas last night, where I was in the third quarter. There was a period where I was like, "Come on, man, no way, really, same old line," and it crossed my mind. I'm not gonna lie, I got PTSD, but they proved themselves last night. And the other thing is the quote of the night was when they asked Dan Campbell, "What did you learn about your team?" And he said, "I didn't learn nothing. They just confirmed it." I thought that was the greatest line of the night last night.
Yeah, right.
And I'm just so proud. Go ahead.
Go on, Ryan. No, you can finish. I'll let you finish.
And I was just going to say, hey, I am so proud to be a Lions fan. For the first time in my life, I wish my mom was alive to see this. Because this was the greatest game. The last two games beat two of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. And I just want to say I'm proud to be a Lions. Hey, Mahomes may be the face of the NFL, but we are America's new team.
Yeah.
The world got to see. The world got to see what we did.
Yes, sir, Ryan.
So just keep it up and keep it real, guys. I love the show. Go Lions!
I appreciate you calling, Ryan, man. What a great call. I think Ryan's perspective is everything. He is most Lions fans that have had to watch what they've had to watch for a long time. And shout out to his mom, by the way. Rest in peace. She was a huge Lions fan. I know a lot of people can relate to that as well. People have been waiting for this. I said this story last night. My dad's 60 years old. He never has been excited to watch the Lions. It's been a while. It's always upsetting the man. I mean, he's already Italian and always pissed off, but when you get to watch Lions games all this time, he's even more pissed off. So he's excited for this season, and last night, I don't think he could sleep. So I feel you, Ryan. Great call. Thanks for it. You're always welcome back. JB, send someone through. Who we got?
All right, I will send you guys DJ.
DJ, welcome to the show. What do you want to discuss?
Hey, what's up, fellas? Good morning. First and foremost, man, it's good to hear from y'all. Good to see y'all. I know y'all are pumping excited after a ripping game last night. I was watching the watch party with you guys. I was watching you too.
That's big time.
I'll make a couple of quick. First and foremost, man, Gibbs is going to be special.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that we heard about Gibbs, everything that we learned about Gibbs up to the draft, during the draft, it's with last night. I mean, the kid can run. The kid making half spins like Barry back in the 90s to get us first down. Even Laporta made a couple of plays on third down. And then even when we talk to the side of the ball, just talking about the rookie stepping up, I mean, what about Jeff Campbell? 6'5", 250, stretching his whole entire body up to get a big stop, and then for us to get another big stop or the pick six Brian Brandt. I mean, it's just, listen, it goes to show you, it verifies what we all know. This ain't the same old fucking Lions anymore. Okay?
Yeah, DJ.
How to put together a roster, a head coach that knows how to bring the best out of his players, and just a team that's fucking resilient to be able to play any fucking body. And listen, for all the naysayers, for everybody in the media that wanted to pick the Chiefs to win, out of respect for winning the Super Bowl, but wanted to hang on to the fact that, overall from an entire perspective that the Lions defense is bad. Actually, man, listen, get out of here with that bullshit, okay?
Yep.
The Lions made stops when we needed to make stops. Mahomes could have easily, on those 2 field goal drives, it could have easily been 2 touchdowns. It could have easily been a 2-3 touchdown game. But what's different is that we have the players that are smart, physical enough to make the plays that we need to get the stops on third down to give our offense a chance. And that's all you can ask for.
All you can ask for.
I would like to see a little bit better because, look, 6'5", getting the damn ball back down like it's a damn volleyball or tennis match, that's not going to fly. But I'm happy that he was able at least to have a better game than Mahomes did. And I think this is definitely the perfect start for us to build on and take it all the way into Seattle for the home opener. Look, I'm excited for this season, and I'm just excited to see what this team will accomplish.
Man, good call, DJ. Great call. And I'm with you, man, with all your points, man. You're welcome back to call back anytime. I expect you back hopefully in 10 days or 11 days when the Lions beat the Seattle Seahawks.
Victory Monday, baby.
Guys and the coverage of the Lions and how you guys keep it real, how subjective you guys get. I was watching the watch party last night, and I'm watching Luke go off at halftime. I'm saying, hey, listen, let's pump our brakes a little bit. Let's calm down. Let's let them come out and let them do their thing. Look, I'm confident in this coaching staff. I'm confident in the organization, man, look, this is not the same old Lions. So every single last one of you that was ready to talk shit, okay, and was ready to write everybody off after one game, we're here. This is our division. This is our league. And we're going to be around for a long time.
There you go. Bars by DJ, man.
Great
Appreciate
call,
you calling.
man. Great
DJ
call.
is also the voice of reason to you, Lucas, last night. So DJ was trying to help you out there.
I couldn't really hear too much. What was he saying?
No, he was trying to calm you down, or at least typing in the chat like, it's all right, be calm. And by the way, to DJ's point, as a Lions fan, you can't help but be nervous when Mahomes gets the football with little to go.
Sure.
Like within a one-score game.
It's just like you watch Josh Allen score with 27 seconds left, and Patrick Mahomes still won that game.
That's ridiculous. Who else do we got, JB? Send him through.
All right, let me send you Zach from Flint.
Zach from Flint, welcome to the show, brother. What do you want to discuss?
Well, I want to start off by just saying it's about fucking time.
Oh, yeah! Okay.
Yeah, I mean, 26 years of life, never seen this team win two emotional, like, just badass games back-to-back to end the season and start one. And, you know, it just goes to show you that these ain't the same dudes, man. They're not going to fucking quit. They started off 1-6. I was like, damn, we fucking suck again. What a shocker. And then they go 8-2, but simultaneously, there's like an 8-game stretch where they play Aaron Jones, Saquon Barkley, Dalvin Cook, a lot of the best running backs in the league, and they're the number one rush defense. And then they lay that egg against Carolina. And then they come back the next week, they're playing for nothing, and they still manage to beat Green Bay with all the guts and all the glory, man. And that's just like, and it showed again last night, because you see them, and Dan Campbell goes for it, probably when he shouldn't have, at the end of the game, and I'm like, you got to trust the defense, man. They're actually playing good.
Right.
And these guys still came out, and they shut them the fuck down. That never happens. Like, they would have always lost that game my entire life.
Yep.
And that's what I'm just so excited.
I'm with you, Zach. Sam Flannel, what do you got?
You know what's funny? It seems like every single one of the callers, and certainly everyone in the room, understands the magnitude of how big that game was in terms of the fact that it's going to Arrowhead and winning week 1, which is going to jumpstart the Lions into winning the division. But also, the Lions haven't had a lot of big regular season games in the entire Super Bowl era. And it's something that I just thought about while I was listening to the call, is that did Brian Branch make one of the single biggest regular season plays in Detroit Lions history? He did.
The way we did.
Hell yeah.
It wasn't just you knew that interception, for one, was coming off of the hands of Patrick Mahomes, who's never thrown an interception week 1. It's in Arrowhead, and it's by a rookie, a second-round rookie that had no business being there. But for once, the Lions were like, the NFL's sleeping, we're going to wake up. We're going to take Brian Branch, Green Bay, fuck you. We're going to go get all-pro safety. And that's exactly what they did. That play right there, it embodied what the Detroit Lions' future was about. Brad Holmes, the last 3 years, young core. You thought that young core was good enough? Here's another one. We'll do the LeBron. You thought that was good? Well, here goes 2 more. And so that is what we've all just been compounding. We're like, this is actually happening. This is actually what the Detroit Lions are becoming. Because what have we had? Nothing. We've had Will Harris out there trying to make plays. Now we got Brian Branch.
Big time. Appreciate the call, Zach, man. You're welcome back anytime, man. Especially, I agree with everything you said. Yeah. I'm in the same boat as you.
Thanks, man. You guys have a great day.
Yes, sir.
You too. Thank you.
Appreciate you. I'll tell you what. We'll go to break. When we get back, we'll take a couple more phone calls. We'll hear from the people. I love hearing from the people. It's so great because, again, we see the chat, we acknowledge the chat, but still, when people call in, you get to see and hear their emotion. It's big time. It's big time. Denver Blair says, Jeff said if Branch gets an interception and a TD, he's a Hall of Fame candidate. Juicy, your statement came true. Okay, I'll go to break here. If he's Hall of Fame candidate, though, hey, first Lions rookie to get a pick 6 in the home opener, or not home opener, in the season opener since like 1960 something. It was Len Barney actually who got the last one.
He definitely put the NFL on watch for Defensive Rookie of the Year. I can tell you that much. And I'm saying going to because we've said multiple times it's Will Anderson's award to lose, but when you make plays like that on prime time, those are plays that people remember.
Big time plays. You know who else makes big time plays for a defense? It's Guardian Alarm, Sam Flannel.
Guardian Alarm, a defense which is even as good as the Lions was last night by holding the Chiefs to only 20 points. And you can let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts. Our professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. 24/7 professional monitoring. Call us anytime, day or night, and know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone as long as needed. Technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work and people who have been proven to care. Call them at 1-800-STAY-OUT. That's 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Stay out, Chiefs!
Guardian Alarm, your local security experts.
Bums.
Come hang with the Woodward Sports Crew all throughout football season on Saturdays and Sundays. Join our college football and Detroit Lions live watch parties.
Inside the 5, caught, end zone, touchdown Detroit Lions!
With money on the line, featuring different special guests and surprises. Start times will vary depending on the game. Only on our Woodward Sports YouTube channel.
Big Boy Strawberry Fest has officially arrived, and we're here to show you the very best flavors of the season. Satisfy your sweet tooth with our deep-fried vanilla Oreos, strawberry hot fudge cake, and a slice of our classic strawberry pie. But that's not all. Cool off on a refreshing summer splash salad, or savor the flavors of our chicken Caesar wrap and strawberry bacon chicken wrap. And for breakfast lovers, don't miss out on our strawberry hotcakes or our mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Strawberry Fest is something for everyone. Celebrate the sweet season with us at Big Boy.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Calling all landscapers, how would you like to landscape like a legend? Register for your chance for 4-time Stanley Cup winner Darren McCarty to work your crew for a day. That's right, Darren McCarty on your zero-turn, weed whipping, and edging for your favorite clients. Sign up today at OutdoorEquipco.com. That's OutdoorEquipco.com.
Man, it's the Morning Woodward show, and it's not just any show, ladies and gentlemen. It's Victory Friday. The Lions just took down the Super Bowl champs. Yes, you heard that correctly. The Lions took down the Super Bowl champs in Week 1, season opener, on the road. They put their foot in the Chiefs' ass and came out with a win. No,
they did.
Boot to ass.
Yep.
And they came out with a win. JB, I heard my arch nemesis called. Send through Terrell from FL.
I got you. Terrell from FL.
Let me hear what Terrell from FL
on.
got to say. Terrell from FL. Talk to me, Terrell. What's on your mind?
Oh, let's fucking go, boys! Let's go!
Let's go!
That's what the fuck I'm talking about, son! How that victory formation in the middle of Kansas City's field in front of their fucking fans feel? How'd that feel? Let's go!
Terrell, you're fired up, baby. How you? So
let's fucking go!
Terrell, look, what are your takeaways, Terrell? What impressed you?
Look, these are my takeaways from the game, okay? First of all, I wanted to say, do you remember when me, you, and Adam went through the schedule and I told you as long as they stay healthy, they're going 13-4? That's a real fucking team out there, boys. That offense went out there and that line said, we're shutting this game down now. We getting this first down. Victory formation. Let's fucking go. Oh. Patrick standing on the sideline looking goofy. Let's go, baby. That defense is legit. It's legit. I'm telling you guys, that's a top 12 defense. If that wasn't Patrick Mahomes out there playing like a god, they did nothing. Y'all realize that? That defense stood the fuck up. That's legit shit right there. Let's go. And this is the other thing, too, I wanted to tell you guys.
Talk to me. What's
Everybody's crying about Tony, right?
Yes.
Jones and Reynolds combined had just as shitty of a game as Tony, so I don't want to hear that. Okay? Number 2, I can't wait until we get a rematch with them and Kelsey's out there, because when Jameson is out there, I know a lot of people are going to be like, look, Jamo ain't done nothing yet. This is what you guys need to realize. Mm-hmm. When Jameson is on the field, he doesn't even have to catch a ball. All he has to do is make sure that the safety can't come down in the box and stop the run or double team the sun god, and it opens up everything. Nobody is going to be able to stop us when Jameson is back on the field. Bring Travis Kelce next time, baby. I'm fucking ready for that rematch
already. Let's go!
Terrell, I needed that energy this morning, man. I appreciate you calling. Terrell, I expect you back when the Lions beat the Seahawks. I expect you to call because we need that energy.
Oh, well, you already know.
Let's go.
Let's go. That victory formation was the sweetest thing I've seen since the 90s, baby. I was a middle schooler when we won that playoff game, man. I was in fucking middle school. Like, damn, son. When Jared went down on that knee in front of everybody, I was like, we are here. That right there signified same old Lions is dead.
Yep.
I know that we have shit to prove, but no team in the last 30 years would have did what that team did last night. That was some real shit right there.
Yep, no doubt about it. Appreciate you calling, Terrell. Again, Terrell, he's over here like Dion, primetime. Give me my theme music. That's Terrell right now. Give me my theme music. All right, Terrell, appreciate you, man. You're welcome back anytime. You know that.
Yes, sir.
All right.
A quick little point that I want to kind of ask you guys to get your opinion. Do you think at halftime Dan Campbell lit a fire under the Detroit Lions' ass after watching them?
I want to be a fly on the wall, like in the halftime, like just to see what Dan is saying. I know he fired those boys up. Yes, I do.
Especially after that second half, they're going down the field with like 2 minutes left. The Lions could have had points, but instead the Chiefs get points.
Yep.
Dan was not a happy man.
Jalen chiming in from the Woodward Night Show. He says, happy Jeff is a happy thing. Appreciate you, Jalen. He says, Lucas has a haircut.
Oh, yeah. We got cut for game day, baby.
Oh, dude, he's lined up. We're ready to go. Let's see here. People chiming in. Elway says, Branch would have shut Kelsey down. Okay, people are excited here.
No.
Let's see. Dr. Dirty D says, I've been telling everybody our defense is going to shine. Mike G says, technically, Laporta outplayed Kelsey. That's sexual.
That's facts. Now that right there, sir, is a ball.
Okay, all right. Elway says the victory formation at Arrowhead was fire. Wild West says KC had 20 because of Mahomes, honestly, and that's it right there. Even Mahomes being the Superman he was or is typically. Wasn't enough to win last night, Sam Flannel.
No,
was not.
No, it was not. But you got to give the Lions defense a ton of credit. And Lucas, when you talk about halftime adjustments or the speech that Dan Campbell must have given, I'll tell you what, whatever he did, it worked because one of the biggest sequences of that game was making sure the Chiefs don't score on their opening drive. I remember I was looking at my Twitter feed, and a guy that we all know very well, Nick Wright, noted Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes fan, basically said that even though the Lions had played so well, they're going to end up basically not getting the ball back again because the Chiefs were going to score with no time left on the clock and then get it first at halftime and score a touchdown and be down 14 points. But the Lions defense didn't let that happen. That was a huge moment in that game, and it just showed that they adjusted because, and I know it's hard to remember now, that Chiefs offense actually looked pretty good in the first half. Patrick Mahomes put up great numbers. In the second half, bad numbers.
Yeah, bad, and that's credit to adjustments by AG in that defense.
Sir.
AG deserves a ton of credit, man. Like he does. AG,
were you guys still nervous when the Lions got that last possession?
No.
Were you still nervous that something could go wrong?
Yeah,
I
was. Yeah,
a little bit. Yeah.
Is it fair to say I was less nervous when the Lions got the ball rather than when the Chiefs had the ball? Like right before that, I was like, oh no, like we might have to answer if they score, and they didn't. So I was a little less nervous, but of course, I'm nervous.
I was like, there's 2 minutes left still on the clock. That's 2 minutes left that they could make a mistake, that something could happen, and it just was like flashbacks from years past, and they proved so many Lions fans wrong in the right way.
No doubt. Coach Walk, look at Coach Walk chiming in. He says, headline on Get Up right now is, was last night a bad or a bad sign for the Chiefs? I hate national media. Why don't they give us our flowers? They're not going to.
No, what I will say, though, is that Kyle Brandt this morning, one of the first comments that came out of his mouth on Good Morning Football was, the Lions beat the Chiefs, which means the Lions can win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and that's the other part of this thing. Like, and again, of course, no Chris Jones, no Travis Kelce, but to Kyle's point, like, and we just said it. If you could go to Arrowhead, Sam, and beat the Chiefs, it's the toughest place to play. It's the toughest team in the NFL.
Yeah, and these brand new Lions, as much as we hate to say it, having Travis Kelce and Chris Jones out was a break for the Lions.
It was.
But the Lions actually took advantage. And like I said earlier,
there you go.
When we look back in history, we're just gonna see that the Lions won that game. And I said yesterday that, and I've said over the last couple days, the pathway to the Lions possibly even getting the #1 seed is going into Arrowhead and winning. winning. And even without, and here's the thing, when you have an all-time great quarterback head coach combination, especially quarterback offensive head coach combination, they're dangerous no matter what, especially coming off of a Super Bowl at home. And the Lions basically, I would say for a large portion of that game, specifically in the second half, kind of punched the Chiefs in the mouth a little bit at times.
Yeah, defensively.
And funky, the Lions ended the season last year only allowing 20 points a game over the last 10. True. They picked up right where they left off. That's big time.
I feel like in every phase they did.
They did. Offensively, you're not going to have the best performances week in, week out, but they did enough to win, and that's what matters. Defensively, they helped out a lot. JB, you could send whoever's waiting. I know people have been being patient here. So.
Oh yeah, I got you here. I will send you Joe.
Joe, welcome to the show. Thanks for calling. What's on your mind? Talk to us.
Hey guys, I'm actually calling from Rochester, New York. So I'm like a Lions fan, Detroit fan, like in Western New York. So it's pretty insane. My dad and me were just texting throughout the game last night. It's kind of cool. Like I think we symbolize a lot of Lions fans of like, holy crap, we just saw the Lions beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead, and we both we've been through all the heartbreak, the Aaron Rodgers Hail Mary from that destroyed me as a young kid, and I got to tear off my Stafford jersey and threw it at the wall. I was so mad. So it was like nice to re-text each other like, oh my gosh, the Lions just beat the Chiefs, and we were just losing our ever-loving mind. It's like telling us things like I didn't think I was going to see it in my lifetime. They said it for my dad. He's like 63. We're both like, we just saw the freaking Lions beat the Chiefs. Like it was such a cool moment for us.
It was a big moment, and again, I mean, I haven't been a Lions fan as long as like my dad, for example, but just the fact, and I couldn't sleep last night. Like I know a lot of Lions fans couldn't, but Joe, like after that game, even I had to sit there and think to myself, did that actually just happen? Like, did the Lions just go to Arrowhead and beat the Chiefs? Like, that's something you only see in Madden. You don't really see things like that happen in real life, Joe. But you're spot on. Appreciate you calling, man. You're welcome back anytime.
Yeah, appreciate it.
All right, but yeah, like Joe was saying, man, and every other Lions fan, Terrell was calling, DJ was calling, Zach was calling, all these guys, they all make a similar point, which is like, what the hell happened? Like, I still can't believe what transpired, which I'm with them. It's crazy to think about, man.
Yeah, and it's still hard. It still kind of feels like it hasn't sunk in.
Lions are the only 1-0 team in the NFL right now.
Absolutely.
Undefeated,
never lost
this season. But that's, when you really think about it, when you really let it sink in and live in the moment, it was an absolute honor and a privilege to be watching this game with all of my boys here at Woodward Sports and all of you guys in the chat. It was absolutely unbelievable, and getting to share in your guys' excitement via the phone calls, via the chat. Yesterday and today are the greatest 2-day stretch in the history of Woodward Sports, and I get to be a part of it. You all get to be a part of it. Jeff Iafrate, Lucas Klotz, Jeremy Bryant, Gabrielle D. Phillips, and all the other shows get to be a part of it. Not to get sentimental, but damn, you just sometimes got to live in the moment, bro.
It's a good day, baby.
And like Honolulu Boost Barty says, the best part about a win is because we could play a lot better. Like you won that game, and there was a lot of things you could have cleaned up. For example, the Marvin Jones fumble, they could have scored there.
Here's the thing too,
like a lot of things could have happened, but it's okay.
The thing with no Travis Kelce, no Chris Jones, no Jamison Williams, no Emmanuel Mosley. Could you imagine? And then, again, Marv played bad. We hope he bounced back. But if he doesn't, we have an absolute burner coming back after week 6, and now that's an extra wrinkle. So everybody wants to be like, oh, no, Chris Jones, no Travis Kelce. I get it. It's huge.
Right.
But not having that big play element against the Kansas City Chiefs, I would say that's pretty huge as well, especially with one of your big cover guys out, too.
I mean, according to Terrell, he's already going to be a Hall of Famer and a superstar if he's a decoy, right? So now we just want him to open up the field. We don't expect production.
I love this. Colton's cardboard says, I watched you guys for 17 hours yesterday. Colton, you're the real MVP. Because he was here with us on the morning show, and then he carried all the way to
He was probably in Woodward in Maine, too.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Colton, you're a legend, man. Appreciate you. Speaking of watching us all day, well, for Lions games, like we did yesterday, we'll have the pregame shows where I'll have special WSN guests. We'll be breaking down the Lions games in about 10 days. I'll be covering the Seattle game, which I can't wait for. It's going to be packed at Ford Field. Join me and special guests all season long, live on Thursdays, 6 p.m., or Sundays, as you can see, 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Again, that's the Lions pregame show with special WSN guests. And we're going to go to break, but when we get back here, I do want to talk a little more about the rookies and what we saw out of some of these guys and some of our takeaways and much more, because there's not enough to get to. There's so much to talk about from the game last night. But before we do that, I got to tell you about our friends. Actually, Flannel, you have to tell us about our friends at Swiss Insurance.
Absolutely. Do you have football on the brain? We certainly do here. Fall ushers in college and professional football, and this year is gonna be awesome. Fall is also a perfect time to shop your home and auto insurance. Shop like a pro with Swiss Insurance. They cover Woodward Sports Network, and they should be covering you too. Ask for Mark at Swiss Insurance today at swissins.com or call 248-800-4177. Again, that is 248-800-4177. Swiss Insurance.
What's your name?
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests, for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Gabby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
Just in time for football. I know you all were smoking on that Chiefs pack. Well, here's the Honolulu Blue pack from Glorious Cannabis. You can try it. It smells so good, or as I've been told, it's like the whiff of your first playoff win in 31 years. Hopefully the Lions will be able to do that this year. If you haven't had one of these ice water pre-rolls, you're missing out. So smooth. Find them at Dispo Dispensary for 25% off or online at gloriouscanna.com. Go smoke that Chiefs pack. Glorious Cannabis. That Chiefs pack, man. Lions smoked that Chiefs pack last night. There's no doubt about that. Baby. No doubt about that.
Ryan Branch firsthand.
Oh, he did. He blew up the deuces.
Yeah, on the way to the end zone.
On the way to the end zone.
Smoking that patty pack on the way back to the crib.
That patty pack. That Patty Mahomes pack. Welcome. It's the Morning Woodward Show. Thank you all for sticking with us. Hit the like button on the stream if you haven't already. It supports the show a lot. So we appreciate you guys for that. Man, a lot to get to. I want to talk more about the rookies and what some of our takeaways were. For example, we talked about Brian Branch and Jahmyr Gibbs, but Jack Campbell didn't start, but he did play. And that's a guy that I think many would agree that as time goes on, you're going to see more and more of Jack Campbell. Yeah. He made an impact right when he got out there.
Absolutely. I was a little bit surprised not to see him start, but when he played, I mean, he made a couple of tackles, and that pass breakup was insane. It was athletic. He turned his hips. It was everything that naysayers said that he couldn't do, and he just says, watch this. I thought that he was very, very good in a small sample size, and I would say overall, when we talk about how all the rookies performed, I actually think somehow they managed to exceed expectations. I would say Jahmyr Gibbs having 9 touches for 60 yards for almost 7 yards per touch. On a small sample size, that is elite. You even look at your guy, Lucas, Sam Laporta. He had 5 catches, which I believe was second most on the team, on 5 targets. 100%, and he had 2 big first downs.
Yeah, that first one, he burnt the corner on a slant route on man coverage, baby. That's no average tight end. Michael Mayer ain't doing that, I can tell you that much.
You know what? Actually, I'll give you that one because he got some yak yards as well. But of course, we all know the real reason why the Lions rookies outperformed their expectations as a whole, and that's because of Brian Branch. Brian Branch, as I said before, and I teased, made one of the greatest plays in the history of Lions football. football. And I get it. It's a franchise that has been long suffering, I will say. But given the circumstance, given it was at Arrowhead, at the defending Super Bowl champs, a win like this can really propel their season. Brian Branch made the play that really swung the game, because it looked like at that point that the Chiefs were going to go down and score. I do think if Kadarius Toney catches that ball, they do tackle him short of the first down, but still, they would probably punt and pin the Lions back deep, and you never know. At that point, the Lions offense looked pretty stagnant. That was the play that really swung the game, and Brian Branch, of all people, made it. And like you said, Lucas, I'm not saying that Brian Branch is going to win Defensive Rookie of the Year, but you obviously see that he's going to get a lot of playing time. Yep. You cannot keep that man off the field. And if you want to kickstart your case, get a pick six in prime time on opening night at Arrowhead. He has a chance, and he does he, dare I say, have a chance to meet Jalen, the TD for Booner and Broder's expectations of maybe being a sleeper All-Pro? I'd probably say no, but still, he did what he had to do to make that case in Week 1.
You know what I will say?
Yeah,
I think he's making his case for Defensive Rookie of the Year.
He is. He is.
What better way to start? National TV, prime time. You get a pick six on Mahomes.
Hell
yeah!
He had a couple good hits in there too.
He did.
They'll show for like assisted tackles. Oh my goodness, voice is giving out on me, folks. But Brian Branch was in there licking dudes too. Pause. He was sticking dudes. I'll use that word instead of licking dudes.
Why
he was
you
you lay a lick.
Yeah.
Lay a lick
Okay.
real quick.
All right.
I will use stick instead.
No, you're right, though. I mean, Brian Branch made his case. I know we talked about it. Jack Campbell was the guy that more people saw being in the race. Brian Branch, again, they had to rearrange this secondary to get him on the field. That's it for Brian Branch. Like, he's going to be big time this year, and he's already making his case early on for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Another guy I want to talk a little bit about, and someone mentioned him in the chat too, is Vaitai, man. His first game back. First time we've seen this offensive line fully healthy playing together. That offensive line, it was, most of the game, they were solid. There was times where maybe it didn't look as great. A couple false starts there. Frank Ragnow just stood there while the rest of the line got up, and it was a little miscommunication, but that's what happens on the road. I mean, the crowd.
The entire line, but the center.
Yeah, like Frank was like, what the hell are you doing? Like, wait, I didn't even hike the ball. But regardless, that's what happens. You're on the road, the crowd's loud, things are going to happen like that. They responded after the mistake. So Vaitai, I think, played solid. The defensive line. Josh Pascal, Levi Onwuzurike, I think he had cramps at one point. It was his first game in like a long time. So he was cramping up. But hey, Josh Pascal played solid. I didn't hear a ton of Aleem McNeil, but still, he was out there. Aiden was living in the backfield pretty much every play because Juwan Taylor was out there cheating. I don't know what he was doing. I don't even know. I know the Lions fans were calling that out, but I don't know if Dan goes up to the ref and says, what the hell is this guy doing?
Dan probably didn't give a fuck. He's like, let him do it. Get a sack regardless. Go out there and ball, fellas. You know what? If they called the flag out at the end of the game, it had to be illegal the whole game. You don't just call it at the end when he's been doing it the whole game. I mean, I'm happy that they did. They called it the most important time.
Yeah,
was a key crucial point in the game.
And for people like Aleem McNeil, his stats you're not going to look at in the stat sheet always. Like the run, there you go. They rushed for, it was 15, besides Mahomes, 15 carries for 49 yards from the rest of the Chiefs. The run game for the Chiefs with that offensive line. Yeah, good job, Aleem McNeil. You did your job.
Yeah, and I would say that in the trenches, the Lions perform very, very well. Because, I mean, I know the yards per carry as a whole of the team doesn't look very good, but Jahmyr Gibbs had 6. And still, David Montgomery, even though he only averaged 3.5 yards per carry last night, he still was durable. He would get you 4 yards, 5 yards at a time. And that's where I'd say that stat was slightly misleading. I thought David Montgomery played better than his stat line indicated. And I also I don't recall Jared Goff being under a ton of pressure.
No.
I would say that he had a lot of time to throw. And when you look at the defensive line, I know that that the Lions, they never got a sack on Patrick Mahomes. But like I said, Aiden Hutchinson was a menace. He lived in the backfield. He had 8 pressures. And I would honestly say, if Patrick Mahomes leads the Chiefs in rushing yards, that's actually a win for the Lions. That means that Isaiah Pacheco or even Clyde Edwards-Helaire basically didn't do anything because Patrick Mahomes only had like 45 yards. I would say that the O-line and D-line, they did their job. They played well enough to win, and it was ultimately good enough for the Lions to get a win.
Think about it. They played. There's so many things to clean up, like Dan Campbell said, and they still won. Like that's what good teams do.
That's the
you
position
find
that you need to be in.
a way to win. Absolutely. I mean, you talk about Mahomes getting free. I mean, you got to play Fields twice. So
I think the play that kind of summed up everything, I believe it was a third, maybe second down. James Houston falls on the ground He tries to do a little swim move on the tackle, falls on the ground, but is still able to grab Mahomes' ankle and just starts hanging on for dear life. So Patrick Mahomes is not going to go down as a sack, but he's grabbing Patrick Mahomes closer. Patrick can't get where he wants to go. He can't make the throw that he wants to do. Now all the receivers are like, all right, I got to come back to Patrick. Jerick McKinnon right in the hands, and it's because Jerick McKinnon dropped the ball. But Patrick Mahomes is running around making a more wide open throw if James Houston is not making that effort. And we all remember that Hutch play where he spins around the first tackle, Mahomes breaks around the second, he spins right around him again and throws him to the ground. Mm-hmm. So just the all-out effort, even though they weren't getting the personal success that they wanted, shows why this team and this defense specifically is going to be so much more improved from years prior.
Well, and to your point, Jerick McKinnon, when that ball was a little bit high, and I think James Houston had a lot to do with it, and he would have been tackled short of the first down anyway. Gabby, go ahead.
No, you heard the broadcasters during that tackle say that Kansas City Chiefs fans must have been wincing over his ankle and that injury last year and having flashbacks to last year and what that could mean for the entire season ahead, especially with Kelsey out right now.
It's big time. Like
Absolutely.
you and JB, I know you've been over there grinding in the phone booth trying to get people, but I want to hear your thoughts, the defense, man. I know we were watching it together in the Lions Den. What are your thoughts on it overall?
Overall, I was very impressed. Right there was a perfect example of bend but don't break.
Yep.
You gave up 2 touchdowns in the first half, but afterwards you held the Chiefs, the defending Super Bowl champions, to 6 points in the second half. That is hell of an impressive job that you did. My hat's off to these guys, man.
And it's even crazier, too, because the defense isn't even at its peak. Like, it's not even at its best point yet. It's week 1. It's a new defense. Well, a lot of similar guys, but still free agent additions that are still, the chemistry on the field needs to be shown a little more. I mean, you saw it kind of break down before halftime. Miscommunications. Kirby Joseph was out of position. CJ missed out of position on one play. Like, these things are going to happen for a newly put together secondary. Those guys, chemistry's everything with them. Mm-hmm. Even if they're BFFs off the field, on the field, you got to get game reps. Like, it's different in joint practices. We got Allen Park, music's playing. You're having, everyone, all right, it's time to play. You're just kind of playing out there. No, now you're in Arrowhead. Like, everything's on the line. You can't hear anything. You have to make calls, make adjustments. Everyone has to be on the same page. They'll get better. But the fact that they showed what they showed in the first game against Mahomes, I'd call him the baby goat. The baby goat. That's impressive.
Well,
big time.
What's also impressive too is that if you hold every single opponent to 20 points, you would take that every single week.
You win a lot of football games.
Yes, that is more than well enough to win. It'll make you a top 10 defense in the NFL. And considering the Lions win the offensive talent that they have, and we hope the offense looks better down the road, but still, if they can hold any version of the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid to 20 points while not even being at their best, that is one of the greatest accomplishments of the game last night for the Detroit Lions. And speaking of that game last night, how can fans watch it with us, and how many fans did watch it with us? JB, tell us about it.
Of course, it's our live stream. There is nothing better in the fall than watching hours of college football and pro football. We'll sit back, crack open a cold one, line up your bets, and tune in to watch college football and pro football with your favorite WSN personalities. Watching all Michigan and Michigan State games and every Lions football Sunday. Enjoy the Woodward Sports Live Game Watch Party. Watch parties with Woodward Sports Live on YouTube. Keyword Woodward Sports. And we had a hell of a turnout last night. Appreciate all of it.
Yeah, we did. That was a lot of fun, man. Again, for people who missed it, you missed out. Hopefully, you're there for, next week when the Lions take on the Seattle Seahawks. You'll want to be in that watch party, man.
Or even tomorrow for the college football one.
Yep, we have college football as well. So stick around for that. People are chiming in. I want to get to some of these comments. Turan says, I've said it top 10 potential. Jeff, say it with me. I'm talking about the defense. Top 10 would be pretty good. If you got a top 10 offense and defense, you're a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah.
That's how that works. Let's see. Gritville says, resiliency sounds like coach speak, but it's real. This team can and will overcome adversity. Let's see here. Also, people chiming in. Andrew says, just wait till J-Mo and Gibbs are on the field together. Yeah. That's a lot of speed.
Yeah. And did you hear what Gibbs has said to Michelle Steele about this upcoming year?
What'd he say?
She asked if he would reach 1,000 rushing yards and 500 receiving yards as a rookie, which Christian McCaffrey did this last year, and he said most definitely, especially with this system.
Mm-hmm. He knows.
That confidence.
Yeah, Ben's system, man. Like, and that's the thing about players that can't, like Denzel Mims. I don't feel bad for it. Like, if you can't work in this offense, you stink.
Yeah, there's something going on. Like, it ain't with us.
You stink. Like that's what it comes down to. And here, Jason R says, he says, Jeff, I offered before, and I still have that helmet for Sam. I don't know what you're referencing there, but regardless, there's another comment I wanted to get to, but it kind of escaped me here, and I want to make sure I find it because it really was a good comment. There you go. Caston Reed says 1.5 hours and haven't even mentioned the sun god. That's how good this defense was.
Yeah,
like
fact.
Yeah. Look at it.
And he had the opening drive touchdown,
dude. And like Amon-Ra St. Brown, you're like, he had 6 catches for 71 yards and a TD. Yep, it's Friday. Like, he just balled out. Like, this is what we expect out of St. Brown. The guy's a beast. And I do think a big year incoming. The guy that shocked me was Josh Reynolds. You needed somebody to step up. He did it. And for people, when you're watching the game, like you saw this, Lucas, too, as a wide receiver, like Josh Reynolds' releases, he could run routes. Josh Reynolds, man. He was cooking last night.
Especially when the thing that we really don't expect out of him is the run after the catch.
Oh,
and on
yeah.
that last drive,
oh, yeah.
Man, Josh Reynolds came up in so many ways. Last time Mahomes and Goff played on prime time, obviously when Goff was with the Rams, Josh Reynolds, 6 catches, 80 yards, and a touchdown. You know how many yards he had tonight? 80 yards. 80. Old reliable Josh Reynolds.
He led the team in rushing yards. I mean, when you think about it, Amon-Ra St. Brown and Josh Reynolds were objectively the 2 best wide receivers on the field. Obviously, Amon-Ra St. Brown is the best by a mile, but Josh Reynolds, he led the team in receiving yards, and he made the big plays down the field. And like we always say about Josh Reynolds, him and Jared Goff just have that chemistry. Josh Reynolds is never going to be like your 1 or your 2, but he can go off for a big game every now and then, and what a better time to do that against the Chiefs this year, on top of what he did against the Chiefs in 2018. Josh Reynolds is valuable.
No doubt. I mean, I bet Josh Reynolds, man, I bet he's been working out at Planet Fitness. The guy's got guns. So let me tell you how to get like Josh Reynolds here. I'll tell you about Planet Fitness because it's the home of the judgment-free zone where anybody, and I mean anybody, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment and much, much more. A full body workout in just 30 minutes. For more information or to join today, visit your local Planet Fitness at www.planetfitness.com.
Winners, losers, pushes and draws, over-unders, prop bets, futures and spreads. Are you sick and tired of your picks being losers? Do you want to learn how to bet like a champion? Well, Woodward Sports searched the globe for the most dangerous man with a bet slip in his hand and gave him a show. Coming soon to Woodward Sports. Tune in every weekend as we introduce the greatest gambler to ever walk the earth.
Hi, I'm Booner, and I don't lose.
Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Calling all landscapers. This is Darren McCarty. I'm at Outdoor Equipment Co. How would you like to landscape like a legend? How about a bad boy zero turn? And even a chainsaw. And even a weed whipper. So register today at OutdoorEquipCo.com, and even you could have DMAC on your landscaping crew.
Let me tell you about our friends over at the Academy Award, because they got tons of features for your child. They got a state-of-the-art sports dome field house that has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, and soccer field. Also could be used for 7-on-7 football. Go out there and act like you're St. Brown. Cook it up on their football field. They also have small classroom sizes, free breakfast and lunch, academic games, so much more. All you got to do is enroll your child at theacademyaward.net. Man, we're back. It's the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network.
Flannel.
Man, we're fired up. Look at Flannel. He's got the guns out. The chest hair
showing. He's got a wife, baby.
Just complete. Hopefully your girlfriend is not watching. He is a taken man, though. Sorry. He's a taken man. Look at that, man. All right. You could play, this is Jared Goff talking after the game, man. And Jared doesn't show a ton of personality, but when he does, he means it.
like for you to be in Arrowhead, this Larwood Stadium, and at the end, all you hear is Lions fans?
Yeah, it felt a lot like Green Bay last year. Very similar, and we love our fans. I don't know. I mean, it seemed like they may have forced that false start at the end on Kansas City, which would be pretty impressive. If so, it looked like it. But they were loud when we were on defense, and they were quiet when we were on offense, and helping us out a little bit there on defense.
Look at Jared Goff being honest, and I mean he said it too. At least in the locker room, C.J. Gardner-Johnson made that video on the live stream, and he goes, "This ain't the same, This ain't the same Detroit no more. Yeah, this ain't the same Detroit. He just got here." So I think C.J.'s significant what he thinks, because this is a guy who's played for the Saints, he's played for the Eagles, he's never played for the Lions, but he knows what the Lions are. Everybody does. The players do. They know what the narrative is in Detroit. Like typically coaches and players go there to die, like your careers. It is what it is. That's what they've been. Now, he signed here. He chose the Detroit Lions. He chose to play under his old his old secondary coach in Aaron Glenn. He wants to play for Dan. He wants to live in the city of Detroit. He's embraced it. That's another guy. Like, it's just different. There's too much evidence that indicates that this is just different. Now, one player I did want to bring up is Jared Goff, because last night he was 22 of 35, 253 yards and a touchdown. Clean game. I mean, again, there were some points where you're watching and on third down, you're like, it's like he was playing scared a little bit, at least early in the game. But sometimes playing safe like that ends up paying off, because it's about the team that makes the least amount of mistakes, and Jared didn't make really any mistakes last night. So again, although he was 35 pass attempts, he had 22 completions, he did enough to win. So credit to Jared Goff.
Well, Jared Goff, nobody would call his performance last night excellent or anything like that.
He was getting pressured a ton, too.
Absolutely. But the one thing that I don't know if anybody anticipated happening was Jared Goff outplayed Patrick Mahomes in this game. I mean,
say it, Flannel.
He did. You know what? I'm a numbers guy. You know that data doesn't lie. I mean, it can be skewed, but it doesn't usually lie. And I know you guys are going to like these stats. Last night, Jared Goff had a higher completion percentage, more yards, a higher yards per attempt, a better passer rating, and most importantly of all, 0 interceptions to Patrick Mahomes' 1, which I believe extends his streak of games played without an interception to, I believe that would be 10 now, because the last 9 of last year and then 1 of this year, which is absolutely unbelievable. And Jared Goff, you saw it. Those throws he was making to Amon-Ra St. Brown, they just have that chemistry. They're one of the best quarterback-wide receiver duos in all of football. The throws he was making to Josh Reynolds, that 120-yarder to Khalif Raymond, that one to Sam Laporta, which was more a good route by Sam Laporta, but still, Jared Goff has to hit him. It was a very clean, crisp performance, I will say.
Did you already bring up the Reynolds catch, too?
Yeah.
Dude, he threw that thing in like a 3-man window.
Yep.
You talk about the one kind of in the middle of the game?
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, when he threw the ball, when they showed the replay, like, if the play did happen and you're watching it live from that angle, you're like, that's picked.
Yeah.
He died right to Josh Reynolds.
I thought it was going to be a sack or a fumble, one of the two, because the edge rusher was coming. He threw it over the linebacker, safety's head, whatever it was, but it was a perfect zone beater. Ben Johnson was cooking against that zone coverage all night with Josh Reynolds.
And Goff didn't try to, and you talked about this, Lucas, so I'll give you credit, but he doesn't have to be Mahomes. Like, just go out there, get the ball out, get the ball to playmakers, make quick decisions, be accurate with the football, and he did just that, at least early on, and I think over time. Although the completion percentage, it is what it is, but regardless, you got to play like that, and you still get a win. It's a road game. It's going to get dirty. It's going to get, things aren't going to go as smooth as you would expect, right? This team was very different at home. But I'll tell you what, Jared Goff gets a lot of flack for his road games. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what. Played well last night. And he deserves the credit. Maybe not extremely well, but he did enough to win.
I think it's something with those all whites on the road, man. Green Bay, New York, now Arrowhead.
I don't know. Something's in those unis, bro.
Something with them. Ice cold in the all whites.
And it really was similar to last year in Green Bay. Like, it just felt similar. You needed a play to win the game. It was Chark last year. DeMont closing them out this year. Of course, free agency additions by Brad Mahomes that close out these games. Mm-hmm. But overall, though, like, you'll take it. You'll get out. You get out of there like you stole something after you win in Kansas City. I know people are talking about the interception streak. Jake says Goff up to 359 passes without an INT, closing on Rodgers 402 fast. He's coming after your boy.
And that's
Flannel got out of that conversation.
Well, no, so here's the thing, and I kind of touched on it. I forgot what show it was. I was on a mini yesterday, that Jared Goff throughout most of his career hasn't been a guy who you look at as super like limiting his turnovers. He's had double-digit interceptions in multiple seasons. He's not a guy like Aaron Rodgers, who historically doesn't throw interceptions, until about week 8 of last year, in which he's gone on an 11-game stretch in which he's only thrown 1, which is absolutely incredible. If Jared Goff can somehow break an Aaron Rodgers record for passes thrown without an interception, that would be probably the greatest accomplishment of his career, and I'm not kidding, because Aaron Rodgers is the king of not throwing picks. Besides last year, he just doesn't do it. But Jared Goff hasn't done it either, at least in last year and the beginning of this year.
Yep, no doubt about it. Big time for Goff, man. For a guy who got a lot of flack in L.A., for how it ended the last 2 seasons, to be traded to Detroit to kind of revive his career. His career as a resurgence in Detroit under a whole new coaching staff that believes in him. And I got to give a ton of credit to him, man. Although he didn't come out and throw 4 touchdowns and 350 yards, he did enough to win.
He did his job.
That's why the Lions love him, man. Like, he just did his job. And you know what? It was good enough to beat the champs on the road. So you'll take that every day of the week. We'll go to break. We get back. We'll get to what's trending with Lucas, and then we'll get to mailbag. So stick with us. Plenty more to get to on the show here. But I got to tell you about our friends over at Randy Wise, and I'll tell you why. Because how would you like to see famous athletes like Jim Harbaugh, Darren McCarty, and Braylon Edwards play golf with average Joes? It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour from our friends over at Randy Wise Automotive Team.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White & Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
Die-hard college football fan? Well, it's your lucky day. Join special WSN guests like Spencer Raxter, Flannel Sam, and more every Saturday. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Saturdays and tune in live from 8:30 to 10 a.m.
Since the dawn of moving people, Chevrolet has led the way. The world of transportation is changing. At Feldman Chevrolet, we are leading the charge forward. With every electric vehicle, every mile traveled, one Feldman at a time. The company that puts more Chevys on Michigan roads is now the #1 name for Chevy electric vehicles.
How would you like to win a $100K Vegas getaway? Take your friends and live it up in the city that never sleeps. It's a Cintron Energy Drink It and Live It. Purchase a 24-pack today and enter to win. Register at drinkcintron.com/Vegas and buy Cintron at your local Meijer store. Cintron, the healthier energy drink with great taste. Look good, feel great, and be the best version of yourself with Cintron. drinkcintron.com/Vegas.
No doubt about it. The Lions got to win. They're 1-0.
Yeah.
Only team in the NFL with a win. Screenshot that. Save it on your phone. Lions are here. They're not coming no more. They've arrived.
It's a new age, baby.
They've arrived. You know what else has arrived? Lucas, for what's trending with Lucas. Lucas, what do you got for us?
Oh, yeah, baby. So, look, we're going to keep it in Detroit. Sometimes we go around the NFL for this, but we're just soaking up all the lines. And Dan Campbell spoke to the media, and he had a couple of things to say, but this was one of them.
This, I did see Laporta's block. I thought it was a hell of a job. I saw Gibbs made a couple of runs that he turned into, 4 or 5 yard gains and got more out of it just with his own effort, which was outstanding. And, I thought Jack showed up in some things, and certainly Branch. It was a big play he had. He had some big tackles. But I know this, as you would think, they got a lot to clean up. And that was game one. They're only going to be better from
kind of towards what he was hitting on at the end there is what you guys touched on it earlier, but with this defense, with this team as a whole, not only are they going to get better with chemistry, but this team is so young. So all these rookies that were playing well last night, what do you think is going to happen week 15?
Oh my, when the game slows down
against Minnesota, when they all are just clicking at this point. Hopefully no injuries or anything like that, but by the end of the season, Who do you guys think, after watching last night, will be the most impactful rookie on the Detroit Lions roster?
I think it's got to. I mean, I would to make it a little easier. I'll go offense and defense because overall it's tough because I like a lot of these guys. I'll go offensively. To me, it's got to be Jameer. Like what he could be. Still, there's still plenty left for him to grow into. They need to utilize him a lot more, in my opinion. I know they kind of gave him a little taste of the NFL last night, but still, I think they got to get Jameer more involved defensively. I'm gonna go Brian Branch. I'll go Branch, man. Like the guy, he's a dog. Certified dog. I mean, if you could play in Nick Saban's defense as a freshman and you could be someone he trusts through your entire career at Alabama, you got my trust. So that's it. I'll leave it at that. Brian Branch, it's going to be special.
Absolutely. And before I give my answer, I got maybe the Chiefs and the Lions can develop a little bit of a rivalry, kind of like Michigan and Michigan State. And Woodward Sports resident Sparty Spencer Raxter and Walmart Wolverine, myself, Flannel Sam, go head-to-head at Woodward Sports' latest show, Woodward Rivals. Don't miss Flannel Sam breaking down why this may be the year for U of M, or heavyweight Spencer Raxter body slamming every Flannel Sam stat that comes his way. Every Thursday from 7 to 8 a.m., just go to YouTube and search Woodward Sports. And I'm actually going to go with Brian Branch as well, because it wasn't just the pick six. He was making some big hits. He was making some tackles. He was pretty good in coverage. And it shows last night that the Lions are going to use him. The one thing that I think would have possibly prevented Brian Branch from competing for Defensive Rookie of the Year and being one of the better rookie secondary players, if not the best, was the fact that he was coming into a loaded secondary. I know Emmanuel Mosley was out, but Brian Branch plays a different position. And I think with that game that he played right there, he might end up being, and I know this sounds like a bit of a hot take, but I don't think so, he may be the best player in this Lions secondary by season's end. I think he has the highest ceiling of anyone.
Think over like CJ/GJ?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I think that's tough. You know what I mean? I'm trying to think about that one because I think Brian Branch he's like a Swiss Army knife. Like I think tackling, getting after quarterback, like he could do everything. But CJ's damn good too. CJ should have had that pick at the end of the game, man.
Yeah.
Like Patrick Mahomes should have thrown 2 picks. That ball went into CJ's hands and just boop, plopped right out. He had it between his hands, dude. And so that frustrates me. But CJ, man, he's gonna get a ton of picks this year. That whole secondary, ball hawks. They're just, even though there's only 1 pick that was thrown, they're always around the football. Like there was a lot of instances last night where I'm watching, I'm like, oh, is that a pick? And they didn't pick it. But like this secondary is going to grab a ton of footballs this year. I'm telling you.
I agree with you. JB, who do you think most impactful rookie by the end of the 2023 season?
Dude, I got to plead the fifth on this and go same with Jeff and everyone else. Like on offense, it's Jahmyr Gibbs. On defense, it's Brian Branch.
There you go.
Just because of the effort that Brian Branch shows you and the defensive awareness. When that pick that he got, that pick six, I mean, obviously as a rookie, he could have just sat here and dropped it, but just to being aware of where that ball was, to catch it one-handed and run off with it, my God, the man is impressive. I'm sorry, but the dude is just impressive.
Yeah, I agree.
And look at Kevin Bell says, bro, Mahomes usually has 300 yards and multi-TDs, not against the Lions. The guy is usually just slinging, wheeling and dealing, and he was. I mean, with his legs last night. But again, that shows if he's running the football, secondary's doing something right. Like there's nobody either open or when they were open, nobody could catch a damn football. So that's how it worked out for the Kansas City Chiefs.
And you just brought it up, running the damn football, and I think we all remember that David Montgomery touchdown run, baby, right here.
Oh,
when we reacted, we saw it.
Jamal ain't doing that, I'm sorry.
Jamal ain't doing that, I'm sorry.
The ending was my favorite when you're like, Jamal ain't doing that. You like walked away. That was incredible, man. That reactions, that's authentic right there. That was no faking. That was real.
That was stress. Like,
yeah.
What? How long's the off season? Like almost damn near 6-7 months. 6-7 months of just like, holy shit. This is working out.
And what was Easy trying to who was he trying to fuck right there? What was going on with Easy?
He was just fucking, man. The Lions were fucking, Easy's fucking. They were all happy.
Everyone's just
we were all losing it in that whole game.
It was a big mood last night. I got to say that, man. It was just wild.
Especially that second half. That first half, we were all kind of like, what's happening here? And then that second half, I'm telling you, that Brian Branch pick six. It kept Detroit alive, that Brian Branch pick six.
Yeah, it did. It brought the juice back to not only the fans, but the players. Like, when you see something like that, you're like, man, we're down 7-14. Brian Branch takes one to the house. You're tied. Now the defense is like, let's go. Like, your defense is scoring TDs. All right, let's go, boys.
Let's do this one.
Yeah, let's go.
Jared can get used to this.
Yeah, Jared can get used to that, no doubt.
Yeah, at that point, I mean, how soon we forget the Lions scored on their first possession and then scored 0 on their next 5. And then that pick 6 happened. It injected life into this building. It injected life, I think, into the Lions. And I think it deflated the Chiefs crowd because at that point, I think that they thought it was just going to be a coronation and they were going to win. Not so fast.
They watched the Messiah.
The Messiah.
He might not be football god after all. That's just reserved for Louis Riddick, baby.
Yeah,
but
Louis Riddick.
That's all from What's Trending, baby. We'll send it back to you and get some mailbag going.
Let's do it. We'll get to mailbag. Get your questions ready. We'll answer them the last 10 minutes of the show. Thank you guys for sticking with us, man. It's been a blast. I hope we have 17 more of these, or 16 more of these, but I don't think it's going to happen. We're going to have 17 or 16, great shows in the regular season. And then you know what? Lions mess around and do something in the playoffs. We'll have even more shows. So you know what? It'll be an exciting season. You're going to want to stick around for it. But first, I got to tell you about our friends over at SMA, the sports marketing agency. Helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their podcast, this is the S Word, helps fight the stigma about seeking help. Head to thesportsma.com for more information. We'll see you after the break.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th.
Join now at any Metro Detroit location. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions Show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Wondering where the best Lions tailgate is? That's easy. Eastern Market, the official Detroit Lions tailgate party at shed number 5 in Eastern Market. Woodward Sports will be broadcasting live for every home game. 3-star Michelin buffet featuring Chef Ermanni, VIP parking, and even tickets if you need them. How do you sign up? Go to bullseyeeventgroup.com and tailgate like a VIP. That's bullseyeeventgroup.com.
It's Mailbag. Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show. Appreciate you guys supporting the show, number one. Let's get into these questions. Zach Conner starts us off here. He says, Mailbag, what were you guys sipping on last night? I wasn't really drinking. I didn't drink at all, but I want to hear what you were drinking because you guys were going down.
I had my fair share of beers, a couple shots of tequila at the end to kind of finish the night off around like 2:30, 3 o'clock. I was sitting there restless. Got some gin in me.
Some gin and juice.
Get some more beer in me.
Oh, jeez. There you go.
Is it a Busch It's
Light?
going to be a long day. Beer. Just any type of beer.
You don't care?
Yeah.
All right.
Beer's gross either way. There's not a good type of beer out there, in my opinion. I'm not that much of a drinker, but when it can come in handy sometimes.
No doubt. Let's see. Juice's Ghost says, Mailbag, if the Lions beat the Seahawks, when's the first loss? I think Green Bay might sneak up on them. I don't know. That's tough.
Here's the thing, though, man. We say that, but it's like they just went into Arrowhead and beat Patrick Mahomes.
They can beat anyone.
They can beat anyone. And Stick put this tweet out last night. He said, the Detroit Lions just proved they can win anywhere at any time against anyone. And that's the fact of it. It all comes down to the Detroit Lions. That's all it comes down to. They're a more talented team than the Packers. They're a more complete team than the Packers. But can they put it together for 4 quarters? I agree with you, Jeff. If they beat the Seahawks, that's their first game. I do think they'll beat the Packers. But
I would say Ravens week 7, man.
Yeah.
Like, that would be the next one I'm probably that concerned with. I think, like, Bucks, Panthers, Packers, Falcons, like, no. I think the Lions should beat those teams, but it is the NFL. So I don't want to say we will immediately win those games. You never know. You never know. But if you beat the Seahawks,
oh, my God.
That will start you off in the right way. Let's get to some more of these questions here. Matt asks, mailbag, you guys need to answer why Dan Campbell took that holding penalty in the first half.
What?
Really?
Okay, if you want to answer, because that's what you do when you have Patrick Mahomes, you could either give him a 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, I can't remember the exact down and distance, or you do what any logical coach is going to do, and you say, you know what? Instead of Patrick Mahomes with a 3rd and manageable, let's give him a 2nd and 20. Because at the end of the game, what do they have? 3rd and 20, false start. Okay, now you're at 4th and 25 after that. That's why you do it. If you have a holding penalty, you take it.
Don Beat says, was last night a Super Bowl preview? I don't know. Honestly, at this point, anything's up in the air. Lions look great, man. I don't know. It's week 1, so I don't want to drink all the Kool-Aid. I mean, I'm drinking Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
I got Kool-Aid right here. But still, I don't want to say they're going to the Super Bowl yet. But damn, this team looks like they could. I don't know. We'll see how the Eagles and everybody else looks in the NFC. But they're already, we know this, one of the best teams in the NFC.
It would be my dream Super Bowl, that's for damn sure. And
Yeah.
it's not outside the realm of possibilities. It's not crazy to think that. Is it likely? Probably not. But the Lions, they're here. They're contenders.
No doubt about it. Cy Gray says, Mailbag, Jared Goff has a pass rating of 92.8 in his career, which is 20th all time. Can we put some respect on his name? Yeah, Jared Goff, man. Like I've always said with Jared, you can win with Jared. Like, and now there's the big question that a lot of guys have to answer, not just Jared, but are they good enough to win a Super Bowl? But Jared's good enough to win playoff games, and this organization just needs to do that before we start talking about the Super Bowl. Win a playoff game, man, and I think Jared is the right quarterback to do that. I do.
It's my quarterback.
That's my quarterback. Let's see. Jesse says, Mailbag Jeff, what is a better post-game locker room speech, Dan's or Prime's? It's different, though. Like, Dan's talking to grown men. Like Prime's talking to collegiate athletes, so it's a little different. They're both great motivational speakers. I like hearing Prime speak in general. Like, the guy just always says the right things. He's always smooth with his words, but Dan gets me fired up. Like, Dan gets me ready to run through a wall.
Yeah.
Like, that's just what he is. Like, Prime gets me, like, motivated in a different way. Like, they're different. They're different on how they motivate
I think
guys.
they're very similar but different at the same time.
Yes. No doubt. Let's see here. Trippy says, Mailbag over under 5 interceptions for Branch this year. I'll say under. I don't think he gets 5, like 6
Under.
interceptions. I can see him getting 3 to 4 this year. I can.
Under.
Derek Smith, how many sacks do you think Hutch would have gotten if he wasn't for the right tackle starting 2 yards back? I think he could have had 2-3 sacks last night, man. Like, Hutch should have had 2-3 sacks. You watched that game.
And that's going to be 2 or 3 sacks in other games as well, because you don't have Patrick Mahomes, who's the most underrated mobile quarterback in the league, especially inside the pocket. The fact that he got 40 rushing yards just speaks to how great Patrick Mahomes is improvising and making plays. So those are going to turn into sacks eventually. But he got 8 hurries. We're fine with it.
Mm-hmm. Chris says, Mailbag, what's going on with Bugs? Which, you know what, though, and this is the thing about Bugs, that whole Bug situation looks a lot better because you won.
Yeah.
I'll just say that. And the other part of it is, though, you were good against the run without Bugs, which also is a good thing. Like, that shows, like, hey, man, like, we got depth. Like, we don't need you. Like, I don't know if Bug kind of felt that way. Like, hey, you guys need me out there. How dare you? I missed some practices. I was having a child. I had to be with my family. Like, I'm a big part of this team, which he is. But they held their own without him. So I think the whole Bug stuff, even he's now realizing, like, okay, I'll play good soldier. I'll just be good and get on the field. Like, before, they showed that without Bugs, they still look good against the run. They did.
The reality is the Lions won that game off the backs of the defense. They held Kansas City to 20 and got a pick 6 by Brian Branch. That's just the reality. So they didn't miss Isaiah Bugs really at all.
No, they didn't.
Not at all.
Sensational.
Is that Future?
JB's just cooking.
Yeah, dude. Shad says, Mailbag, did Sam have to comfort Mahomes last night after the win, or after the game, excuse me?
I mean, Patrick Mahomes is looking at his 2 Super Bowl rings, and he's going to be just fine. I mean, I'm happy the Lions won, but Patrick Mahomes, when you're the Kansas City Chiefs, and this isn't to put down the Lions, you're more worried about what you do once you go to the playoffs. They'll easily be able to shake this one off, and I think they'll be fine moving forward, especially since I think Travis Kelce will play in game 2. But we'll see if they can get a deal done for Chris Jones. There's some uncertainty in there.
Now, Rich P says, I would like a Bills-Lions Super Bowl. My wife is from upstate New York. That'd be great for you, Rich. You and your wife. Well, I don't know. Is she a Lions fan, though? Or is she a Bills fan? Because that would be interesting if you and your wife are voting for 2 different teams. Or rooting for 2 different teams in the Super Bowl. That would be great. You know what pissed me off, though, yesterday? I hate betting. I hate it. I missed out in my parlay by 7 receiving yards from Jahmyr Gibbs.
Ooh.
I hit everything. David Montgomery over 40 yards rushing and a TD. Amon-Ra 60 yards, the alternate, which I took 60. He hit that. Lions money line, I hit that. 25 receiving yards for Gibbs. He hit 18.
And you would have thought that almost would have been damn near a lock.
Yep, I would have thought it would have been a lock.
I hate betting. I hate it. I always miss it by 1 parlay, dude. I was 7 yards away from winning like $100 and something. It's just it just stinks.
That's how it goes,
man. It stinks, man. 7 freaking yards.
Leg.
I'm sitting back there yelling at the TV. Just dump the ball off the just dump the ball off to him, man. Get him 7 yards, please. Jesus, ridiculous.
I think he'll get it next week for you, Jeff.
No, I'm done. I'm retired. Booner, you can have it.
Booner was
you said
catching
until
out.
next week.
Booner had that 1 to 1,000 Amon-Ra St. Brown first touchdown to her. Booner was making some guap last night.
He doesn't lose.
How much he put on Amon-Ra?
He put 10 to win 100.
Man, he was making
just
some
on that.
guap,
He was betting
dude.
on the receptions, yards. Booner, I think, might have fleeced last night.
Griffin, shout out to Griffin, man. He says, just take the money line, Jeff. Come on. I know I should have kept it simple, but Griffin, I got greedy. I wanted the parlay to make the, I'm rich, God! Stupid, man. Booner, I'm gonna leave all the betting to Booner, man. He's the guru. I took an L last night, but regardless, you know what didn't take an L? The Lions.
Nope.
Got that dub.
Took a W. And thanks to all of you, we took a W on today's show as well.
Did.
A lot to get to still. We'll cover it all this week. Next week when we come back. Man, I'm missing out my days, man. It's Friday. It's Victory Friday. And we'll carry that over. We'll carry this energy over to Monday, everybody. Appreciate you for joining the show. Like the stream. Subscribe if you haven't already. 1.8 away from 50K. From Jeff Iafrate, Sam Flannel, we got our blue Kool-Aid. We're going to go drink that up. Shout out to Coach Walk 37.
Shout out Coach Walk,
Coach
baby.
Walk for the shots, man. Shout out to you, JB, Lucas, Gabrielle D. Phillips. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. It's the Morning Woodward Show.